Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel the teach. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Tej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Tej is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Tej.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trigger Mike, back with the late night vibes on Sunday. Yeah, thank y'all for rocking out with me. I see some of y'all in the chat showing love. Ain't nobody on right now. I finally get a time where ain't nobody on YouTube. Unfortunately, the notification didn't go out to send this to people to let them know that we're streaming right now. So please let me know. I got new internet. Told y'all I was gonna do that last week. I had to do that. AT&T gang now. Okay. Xfinity was messing up too much in this community of mine. So let me know. How am I coming through on the other side? All right. Let me know if my sound is coming through good, if my internet's choppy. Those are the only two providers in this whole community. So I don't know what the hell else I'm gonna do. I heard I can get Verizon 5G, but I already know that's some shit. I live in the boonies. All right. So y'all let me know if I'm coming through good, if I'm coming through clear, if you can hear me. And we just gonna rock out, man. These late night vibes. We definitely got a topic tonight. My man AP says he's on the road. Safe travels, my man. That's my guy right there. But yeah, let me know if I'm coming through clear. All right, Jill, my favorite says we can hear you. Yes. All right. Coming through good. And they put the router in the children's room in the closet because that's where the big, I don't know what the hell that stuff is called. I'm not an IT guy. I'm a healthcare I'm a healthcare guy. All right, but yeah, man, they put that in the closet. Oh, okay, okay. People have to subscribe all to get notices. Yes, so make sure if you have not hit that subscribe all button. Also, click that bell for notifications so y'all can get notified when the show is up. Appreciate that, Joshua Jones. Queens of Virtue, welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in. My man, Chicago Rilla, what's going on? Always showing love. Thank you for coming through, being in the building. Definitely glad to have y'all come through today. So yeah, we just gonna breeze through. These are late night vibes. We chilling. I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on the topic. This is not really that heavy of a topic. This is one of those things that we can develop and talk about as grown people. All right. And it's something that I wanted to break down. Because naturally, just like y'all, it's the weekend, you're relaxing and you're watching what's going on in the world. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not too proud. We make a lot of strides. Let me not make it all negative. We make a lot of strides as humans. We make a lot of strides as people. But damn, I'm telling you, sometimes, like some of the fuckery that I see in these spaces, oh, and I'm not talking about YouTube, I mean all of it. From what the celebrities are doing to what some of our cousins and younger people and some of their beliefs and the behaviors and things that they post. Jeez, man. If you put a one in the chat, if you pray every day for this young generation we got, put a one in the chat if you pray every day for this young generation we got, man, because I got to tell y'all, I know we had our issues all the way from the baby boomers to Gen X to the millennials. We had our issues, but couldn't nobody tell us we didn't know right from wrong. I'm starting to think these young people have no idea what is right or wrong. I'm really starting to believe that they don't give a F about nothing. They don't see anything wrong with some of their lewd behavior. And I'm not trying to sound like a prude. I think that's the word. But all I want to know is that do we understand as individuals? Do we understand as human beings the difference between children and adults? I'm not even going to Bible thump. I'm not even like that. Y'all know me. But one of the things that resonated with me that my people used to tell me is that as a grown man, you must put childish things away. I did not elevate in life. I did not get the proper salary. I did not get the proper respect until I put childish things away. People did not start taking me seriously. People didn't respect what I was saying and put weight behind my words and my motives and my initiatives until I put childish things away. So I just want to know, are we willing to teach anymore what it is and really hold these people feet to the fire on what it means to be an adult? Let's look up the word just so we have context on what we're talking about this evening. All right. Let's look up the word adult. Let's look up the word adult. Let me bring this in closer for y'all. All right. Adult, a person who is fully grown or developed. Do we have any? A fully developed animal, or by law, a person who has reached the age of majority. Okay. Okay. I know what they mean by majority because if you're an adult, if you're an established adult by law at 18 years old, there are far more people in the 18 to 70 category, let's say, because that's right around the death date of most people now. The average mortality rate is going all the way up there to 70 something. That's why they want to move when you get Social Security to 70 something. So the majority, when you reach the age of the majority, then you are considered an adult. Now, I'm going to go ahead and challenge that. I'm going to go ahead and say you are not an adult until you reach certain mature milestones in your life, maturity milestones. Because we have a lot of grown children walking around. Put a one in the chat if you agree. I can't really. I know y'all have seen it. I'm not the only one that's seen it, but a majority of the people that are 18 to 30, they're not adults. They do not behave like it. They don't accept the responsibility that comes with it. They pretend as if they didn't know or they weren't taught when they get caught doing things they shouldn't be doing. I want to know if they understand what it truly means to put childish things away, participate fully in this society to the best of their ability, not ask for handouts, get it on their own, pay on their own, not ask somebody else to pay for them. These are things that we have to do and responsibilities that we got to take on as adults. I do not think the Gen Z or Gen Alpha know anything about what the hell I'm talking about. Even some of the later millennials are guilty of this shit. Now, let me see if these video files uploaded. Let me bring it to a realm that some of y'all can get on. So let's talk about football for a second. Y'all are not even going to understand the context in which I'm about to bring this video up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. All right. And I want to make a link to what I'm talking about on the male side. We need to understand that many of us are failing at being adults. Being an adult entails what? I got an intelligent chat. I got 43 people in here. Make sure you hit the like button. But what does being an adult entail? What does it mean to you? Put it in the chat and I'm going to read what y'all are saying. Please make sure y'all support the show. Drop a super chat. Shout out to the sponsor, Tiege Hanley. Also, shout out to Assured Man Naturals. This is the collab between Lapeef and Sugar Curls. The link is down in the description below for you to get 15% off. All right. What does it mean to be an adult? A grown man, a grown woman What does it mean? We're going to have a ton of different outlooks on this, and I just want to know what y'all think. What does it mean to be an adult? My man Joshua Jones says accepting responsibility. Mm. I mean, if I had to put it in an all-encompassing 2-word, that I think you just summed it up right there, dog. And when it comes to accepting responsibility, it don't matter what the hell it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If you did it, you accept responsibility for it. That's the only guide for change behavior. Accepting responsibility for all of your fuck ups, for all of your mishaps. That's how you stop. If you want to understand, that's how you stop making certain types of mistakes. Because when you've had to take too much responsibility and it took you too long to pay back certain debts, and you realize you caused too much hurt with some of the irresponsible behavior that you have been exhibiting throughout your life, you naturally start to make different decisions. So I absolutely agree with you, Joshua Jones. Accepting responsibility. My man Ronald, 804 in the building. Richmond. I'm from VA. I don't know if you know, but I'm from the 7-5. Virginia Beach, Norfolk, P-Town, Newport News, Hampton, Suffolk. Did I forget any? Chesapeake. Yeah, I grew up in Virginia Beach and went to high school in Portsmouth. So shout out to my man, Richmond, Henrico County, that area. I know it well. A law-abiding citizen. Listen to me, man. A lot of people will try to say, well, no, I won't say too many people will disagree with this, but I absolutely believe a large part of your adulthood is staying out of freaking trouble. I believe that in my household, in my own household, I am responsible for the actions of my children. I'm responsible for the actions of my wife. And it doesn't matter what any individual person in this house thinks. This is natural law. One of the reasons we have the problems we have in the US right now is because men aren't taking responsibility for the actions of their family. I want y'all to understand how the US in general treats men in this society. They treat you like you own your family. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? The second a man either has children or impregnates a woman's body or associates himself with a woman, i.e., through any type of commitment like marriage, the society in general treats you like you own your family. Anything you do that is against, that is other than accepting responsibility for your family, they will come looking for your ass to make you take responsibility for your family. So, yes, a large part of that is being a law abiding citizen, making sure your people, the man, your people are functional, productive citizens that don't break the law, that have respect for other people's property, other people's belongings, other people's personal space. That is all your responsibility as a responsible adult. So I 100% agree with you, Ronald. Absolutely. Embrace the grace. How you doing? I'm gonna drop the link so y'all can come up, so I can stop talking to myself. I want to get y'all takes on this. The link is dropped for those of y'all that want to cam up and just come up and chat with me. I got to drop the link for some other people. Embrace the grace says being responsible for actions, accountability. Indeed, couldn't have said it better myself. My man AP says when you're able to sacrifice happiness for duty. Dog, you already know that this is me. This is me right here. He's speaking my words right here. When you are willing to sacrifice happiness for duty, let's talk about it, AP. This is why some people don't want to fully go into adulthood. They don't want the vacation to end. They don't want the vacation to end, AP. This is why some people will never embrace adulthood. because the vacation got to stop at some point. You got to sacrifice your happiness for the greater good of the collective. You got to willfully take momentary setbacks so you can get an ultimate win. A lot of people are not willing to do that. A lot of people do not have the endurance, the strength to endure any kind of temporary discomfort in the name of doing what's better for their family, for their children. Unfortunately, everything got to be a high all the time. They got to be high all the time. That's why people are afraid of adulthood, man. Let's just say it. Hence the phrases, my wife, my children, my mom, my dad. Strongly agree with the belonging. Indeed. All right, let's talk. I see you in the back, Ashton. I'm gonna bring you up in a second. Cam up real quick so I know it's you and not a troll. So let. All right, listen. I know some of y'all are like, Trigger Mike, why did you bring up this video of Odell Beckham dressed like a Texas rodeo power ranger? Now, I'm gonna tell you why I brought that video up, and I'm gonna tell you what this has to do. I'm gonna tell you what this has to do with this "are we failing at being adults" situation. This is what I don't like on the male side. I do not like this on the male side. Now, it's not that he's doing anything wrong per se, but when it comes down to things like the postseason, this is this man's job. And this is one of the bigger issues that I have with men in general. Odell Beckham, stop the fashion show. Stop the fashion show, bro. Stop it. You are a grown ass man. And this is the connection that I want to make between what the video I just showed and this topic. Right now, he should only be focused on winning the championship, because there is a phrase that I usually say, and me and my brother were talking during Christmas, and somebody, I think it was Rashard Mendenhall, if y'all remember him. What was he, a running back or something like that? Said they should have an all black versus all white football game. And everybody was like, the black dudes are going to slaughter the white dude. I was like, y'all are bugging. Everybody knows the black players are the most talented players on the face of the earth. And I also believe that. But check this out.
Keep the bag, King Walker.
Check this shit out.
Let's go.
I want to introduce y'all to something that you may have heard already. You may have heard it. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. The group of adults, all right, the group of adults on another team who are working hard and solely focused on winning a championship. That's a goal. Doesn't have to be football. The group that's working hard, that's not focused on a fucking fashion show in the postseason, those are the people that usually win the championship. Am I right or am I wrong? This is what this man's focus is all the time. That is a huge part of what's missing in this generation. Even when he's supposed to be serious, even when he's supposed to be on the ball, hey, no cameras, dog, I'm locked in. This dude come looking like he going to the Houston rodeo mutton busting competition. I know that was kind of like some people like, you reaching with that one, bro. But it's something I had to bring up. Let me bring up my man EBD. What's going on? Ashton, what's going on?
You doing all right, Trigger? Can you hear me good?
Just chilling.
Yeah, I can hear you, Ashton.
You doing all right, EBD?
Yeah, doing straight. Wild weekend.
I seen that game you was spitting on Hemp Show, EBD.
Oh, with the young ladies that were on there.
Yeah, I seen you putting it down. You doing all right, Trigger?
I'm chilling, bro. How you doing?
Trying to get it like you, big dog. I gotta disagree with you, Trigger. I mean, I get what you're saying about the dressing, but I mean, some of those players, like, it don't take away from their game. Like most of them, they get paid probably like $500,000 just to wear a certain vendor.
Right.
I don't think it's a fashion show. Like it is, but not to them. Like some of those high paid athletes, they get incentives for wearing that.
And
I
they got to
know
go through
damn well.
image consultants, image consultants.
Yeah, I know. It's weird that he wouldn't get caught in that, but for $500,000, I bet he will.
Yeah. But yeah, I think in sports, once you're at a top percentage performance wise, you start getting endorsements and sponsorships, and then it matters like what you wear, what you drive, things like that.
Hold on. Let me. It's not that he's been doing great all season, but this dude that showed up to this game took up all this camera time with the camera following him with his muumuu outfit on. Had 12 yards, bro. So Odell Beckham had 12 yards, bro. So that's all I'm saying, man. The dude need to be focused. He need to be locked in. He need to be on like. So this is what I actually said about Lamar. This is what can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Said the host muted my audio. I was like, I am the host. Oh shit! But anyway,
yeah, it won't let me comment in the comments, Trigger.
Oh, it's tripping. Then.
Like
it's tripping. Something wrong with it.
I think I was talking about old girl when Hemp came by. The girl that looked like she was looking for a sack.
Damn, I forgot what I was saying. But anyway, what are y'all thoughts on that?
You said Odell. You said Odell only got 12 yards.
Yeah, man. But I'm just saying.
Oh, for the game, yeah.
I think Lamar is locked in, and the rest of the team need to follow his lead. He's hungry since last season. He said his only goal is Super Bowl. I don't see him out here being wild, and I hope he stays locked in. But the team need to be on that, man. They need to be on some adult stuff because that's usually who wins these games. If y'all, it's all fun and game. I'm sorry, yeah, it's all fun until the playoffs. Then it's seriousness. You know what I mean? And I just used that to tie into the main topic. But the topic tonight is: are we failing as adults? So we'll start with you, EBD. What is your view on that? I talked a little bit about Gen Z not wanting to take responsibility. I talked a little bit about millennials, even later millennials, screwing up, not being able to pay their rent. Right now, as it stands, there are more jobs in the U.S. than there are people to fill them. So everywhere is hiring. Starbucks is hiring. BlackRock Coffees. People act like they're too proud to do these jobs. What do you think is happening? And I'm sorry, there are a record number of people who have been unemployed for, I may be saying that wrong, but it's something at the 6-month range. There's like an age group of people that have been unemployed for 6 months or more. What do you think that's about?
So, like, I mean, it depends on what the age group is, because if we're talking about teenagers now, what their expectations are, their parents are making more money, which means that they're able to fund their lifestyle, and therefore they're able to attend college without having to go through the college experience of having a job or the side hustle. So it could be something about that. Also, you got to look at what's going on with high schools. High schools are becoming kind of more privatized. And if they're becoming more privatized and not more public, then all of your general labor of McDonald's and Starbucks are going to take a nosedive, because these teenagers are now going to be trained in higher level learning and functioning for the future when they're still just high school kids who still need to learn their social skills and flex their social muscles. So like we're kind of training for the future, but we're not really instilling in these adolescents and these teenagers and these young adults the social skills necessary in order to work with colleagues, coworkers, and build and maintain functioning relationships that can hopefully turn into marriages and things like that.
Nice. Ashton, what are your thoughts, bro?
I gotta disagree, EBD. I think kids are more focused on getting in the damn what is the jobs in the office? Like I don't think they worried about just working at Starbucks and stuff like that. Like they more they I have seen more kids want to do corporate jobs at a young age.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying like they're being trained for higher paying jobs, and they're no longer interested
Oh,
in the
okay.
Starbucks or the McDonald's. They're in school. They're no longer the further we get away from public education and that hard work pays off, and that you start at the bottom and work your way up. That is now
Mhm.
being lost. Now it's all pointed towards you're an entrepreneur. Now let's talk about how you can start your own business. Like we're talking about these things in high school rather than talking about, well, you need to earn, you need to know the meaning of a dollar. Now it's more like you need to learn the meaning of Bitcoin.
All right. So I don't know what young people y'all are talking about, but I don't think these little niggas want to work at all. And or at least the way we did. Because the one thing I do know is that somebody said that what the number one job when you ask the young people what they want to do, they say YouTube influencer. They say YouTuber. That is the number one job they have in mind that they want to do. So everybody thinks they can do
But
the
I mean,
same shit.
oh,
Everybody thinks they can be a YouTuber, dog.
I,
And we know everybody don't got the chops for this shit, man.
but I mean, to your point, Trigger, like y'all can't say when y'all was growing up, like how y'all was raised, because I get on my mama tail, bread was only $1. We can't do this. We can't just work at the movie theaters no more and just bag groceries. Like it's different jobs out here now. YouTube, what Bitcoin? Like it's a whole different ball playing field out here.
I don't know, bro. I think they're failing at being adults simply because they either got some kind of benefactor. Because this is the craziest thing. I don't know who's paying for these people to live the life they're living. Some of them don't have jobs, but yet I live in a master plan community. So that means that the Ashton, you live in Houston, right? So
Yes, sir.
if you go house hunting on the outskirts, Sugarland, Katy, Cypress, whatever, you'll run into all those master plan communities and you'll always see the grocery store or the Walmart anchors the community around it,
Uh-huh.
right? So the high schools, all of the schools will be inside of the community. All of the restaurants and chains will be outside of it. So when I either go pick my kid up from school or I go to eat lunch, it's all of these high schoolers or people who are young, who just recently graduated, out eating. And when I find out their age and they telling me what they're doing, I'm like, y'all are out here eating every day, spending $30, $40 a day, and you ain't got no fucking job? Who's paying for this shit? That's
We're,
what
we're,
I
tr-
want to know.
we're Trigger Mike, to your point, like me personally, growing up, my parents was like, if you make good grades, then they'll pay for it. So I mean, I, if you making the grades, the parents don't mind paying for the dinners, the cars, and your 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 extracurricular activities. So I mean, some kids have it like that. I get what you're saying as well, but I mean, some kids just don't have to work, put in the effort to learn what the value of $1. Especially if you my daddy just wanted me to come home with a C.
Hmm. Damn. All right,
So just the luxury alone, just you get with a B,
damn.
heaven sent.
All right, let's get Trey Ferg in there. What's going on? Good evening to you.
What's up, Trigger Mike? What's up, panel? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So the topic for tonight is, are we failing at being adults? I'm really right now, we're talking more about the young people. What's going on in the ether, in the atmosphere? Why do they not have the skills or ability to maintain themselves like the generations before them? What do you got on it?
Ooh-wee. So I think it stems back to my favorite generation where the disconnect really started to show itself. And that's that early crack era time. I worked in the social service system up in Chicago. Over 400,000 children in foster care in one county alone. Over 400,000 children. And since that time, the reading rate for Black males has plummeted. The social skills of all children has really took a hit because feminism took the father out the home, crack took the mother out the home. A lot of brothers and sisters are still struggling with the fact that they lost family members due to the pandemic or epidemic, whatever you want to call it, whether they were taken out by someone else of the community or they were just strung out on the drug. And working within that environment, I learned that one, a lot of the youth are smart. They just struggle with the communication of others because they all were in the chaos. And now you see that as adults, and I always say some of our strongest generation of adults, that 21 to 40-year-old, they're the ones that screaming that ain't nobody good out here. But they got to look at, a lot of these people are talking about their cousins and their brothers and their sisters. A lot of these girls' brothers ain't doing nothing. A lot of these boys, a lot of these dudes' sisters ain't doing nothing. They see it in the family. They see that whole dynamic. And over that time, our divorce rates have changed a lot. Since 2006, it's plummeted. But men are still finding a way in their heart because that's what we want. We still want to get married.
Yeah.
The women are the ones say we don't want to get married, but the younger women that are hearing it from older women don't even bother with it. Go out here and have your fun. Translation, ride all the cocks you can ride. And when you're ready, somebody's going to be waiting, but they're not saying, while you're riding, I'm still trying to compete and get that guy that you say you want. And that's and I think the women really, the older women have to really start really saying, look, you can do this, but it's still the womb is valuable to the woman. Don't give a child away to somebody you just screwing in the backseat of your car. Don't have a child. And guys have to take accountability because we know the dynamic. As a Black man having a child out of wedlock, it'll set you back 25 years of your life.
Damn.
It'll set you back. Yeah, because think about it. And the enrollment rates for college, they went down for years. Brothers wasn't joining college. But then there's a lot of times, and I say, if it's under 50% for us as a Black man, we lose. 30%, if you flip it around, that's an F, because a 70 is a D or F, depending on what school you went to. That's a failure rate. It used to be a lot higher as far as graduations, GED. It was in the 90, 95 percentile. 2 or 3% fell out, within that dynamic. But most of the time, and I hear when the older guys, we came out of high school like, shit, ain't working. Let me join the service. Let me go to college. Let me get a trade. It was pushed. Be there. Yeah. And now, as we started to move out of our communities in the hood, because a lot of times the projects was the best place to be when you were young, because you learned all your coping skills, all your hierarchy. You learn how to, that's where you learn how to jump 16 feet off the ground and do backwards flips. You learned all of that because we all played within our group. Pretty much throughout the summer. We ran. Everybody was built muscular and they never touched a weight. These kids are isolated in their homes. Mother won't get her hair wet. She won't sweat that weave out. Ain't no way she's taking you to the park. Ain't no way she's taking you swimming. Ain't no way she's taking you to the soccer field. Mother went to church in the home, and she went to church, the family picnic, and the church picnic. That was it. Your mama wasn't leaving you at home. And there were some, but even with that some, we were still able to maintain some type of dignity. And as those young first generation, that if you were 8, 9, and 10 when crack really started taking over, you grew up fighting. Everything that you were part of in your children, y'all fight from day one. And the mother will definitely let you know, that's your daddy, that ain't your daddy, that's your daddy, that ain't your daddy. So she's going to fight that. And the children are seeing this. I used to tell my students, your worst enemy right now while you're in high school is your uncle. That dude that don't give a damn about your daddy or your mama, because she looking at you, looking at your daddy. She don't like him. She don't like you. Now, she's not going to tell you that. She's just going to say your daddy ain't shit. She's not going to tell you that, I really didn't want no kids, but here you are. And she will allow that boy at some point to figure out whatever he going to do by himself. You ever went over a woman's house? And I'm going to cut it short. You ever went over a woman's house and you go past the room and the door is shut? You be like, whose room is that? Oh, it's my son's room. I don't go in there. Then you happen to get a whiff of it that smell like skunk booty and badussy and weed and everything mixed up, and ain't nobody cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Because that boy's having to figure it out on his own. Now, here we are. The boy's no benefit in a welfare home. He's a liability out to 18. Unless he's willing to work and pay within the home, he's a liability. A woman, the girl, hey, you gonna bring some money? Might want to have a baby. Go repeat this cycle. She's not going to allow those children to have a relationship with the father. A lot of children don't even know their father or know the dynamics of the relationship. And this is where we are. These are now adults who have children. They fight everything. Everything is an argument about whatever. There's only so many places, so many lanes you can go through in America. When I was in the school, they called it the 3 E's: employment, education, enlistment. That was it. Now they have this new one, entrepreneur. The thing about an entrepreneur is you have to be very good with people. You have to be able to speak to a diverse audience, not just your friends who all showing their cheeks, wearing tight jeans, not just your friends who all showing their breasts, showing their cheeks with the hoop earrings. You have to be able to speak to the young, the old, black, white, beige, brown, every diversity, because they're going to allow you to make the money that you need. And you can't be afraid to step out on your own, get away for a while, and come back. I've been telling my sons, don't have no children out of wedlock. No, it's going to set you back. Save your money. Stop buying all these fake knockoff clothes that you think is real. You're spending thousands of dollars.
We're going to land a plane, Trey. We got to get other people in there.
I'm sorry, man, but it's just so much, man. It's just so much, man. I've been in it.
It's a lot. We're gonna get into it for sure. My Chaotic, no doubt. Stick around. It's always a pleasure to have you.
What's going on,
Chaotic, my man? What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, dog. So you got the context of the convo?
Oh yeah, I've been here. Yeah. So let me just bring some data real quick. During the 1940s, the U.S. Department of Labor, specifically the Bureau of Labor Statistics, began collecting employment information via monthly household surveys. Other data series are available back to 1912. The unemployment rate has varied from as low as 1% during World War I to as high as 25% during the Great Depression. More recently, it reached a notable peaks of 10.8% in November of 1982 and 14.7% in April of 2020. Now, we know what was going on in April of 2020 and why the unemployment rates were so high. Let's keep it a buck. Unemployment ebbs and flows. People are in the workforce and people are out of the workforce. It's a generational thing, and the skips are too. This whole thing with kids not being able to go outside and these kids not becoming adults, I call cap. These are the same kids that marched and protested and had an entire government kneeling for them. A lot of men of yesteryear would never have done that. A lot of these so-called baby boomers and Gen Xers, They never had an entire government literally creating policy overnight to fit their needs. They never had the backing of the media and sports. So, I mean, a lot of these soft kids, man, they have a lot of power. They have us strong millennial men and Gen Xers calling them by their pronouns. So how weak are these kids? How weak are these kids coming up? Yeah, these kids don't know the trades by memory. But a lot of these kids, including even me, man, I've gone online some days and learned how to do stuff within just an hour or two watching a YouTube video, So a lot of these kids, man, they're just adapting to the time. And trust me, man, I am I'm not a liberal, but I gotta give a lot of these liberal kids, these kids credit for, they listen. They don't want to work construction. They don't want to work on the roads. They don't want to dig dishes. They don't want to work at the sewage facility. You know why? Because they ain't getting paid. This is the first generation where you can literally see people or your peers making astronomical amounts of money. So if these construction companies or trade schools or trades like unions, if they want to recruit more people, hey, you got to pay more. And so if I could get online as a 16-year-old and make money and my parents taking care of me, if I could do it at 24, my parents taking care of me, why not? I'm not going to get shamed anyway. If I get a job as a plumber, girls ain't going to like me anyway. So why not try to make an astronomical amount of money? It ain't like 30, 40 years ago where you were a plumber, you were an electrician, where that was deemed as an honorable and respectable thing amongst women. No, women want six-figure earners. So these kids, hey, they want to make six-figure money. So they're going to try to make that money online as much as possible because they want what the females are asking for, Mm-hmm. And truth be told, a lot of kids aren't. A lot of these boys are incels. And so they don't care. It's just a different generation, man. But let's not forget, man, it was higher unemployment 100 years ago than it is now.
That's true.
So where was all that trade and all that stuff back then? I'm not saying they didn't know it, hey man, but I really feel like we don't know our history, or we don't, look at it from the perspective of, man, why was the unemployment rate so high back then in 1920 or 1925 or 1930? Why was the unemployment rate at 1% during World War I? So I don't know, man. That's just my take on it.
All right. Interesting perspective as always, my man CT. R Payne, what's going on? You got the calm, bro.
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, listen, I kind of agree with Chaotic. First of all, the Gen Z, all this bullshit that people start talking about, the reason why they are where they are now is because of the boomers and Gen X. It's just absolute fucking bullshit, man. I'm tired of hearing about it. They have more information at their fingertips now than ever before in history. Everybody does. And even the poor fucking guys do. People have computers. Who is not enlightened if they want to be enlightened? I saw this, I don't know who it was, a content creator had 4 women on. They were Gen Zers. And they were talking about how working hard is a thing of the past. They were talking about finding jobs where they call this bullshit work-life balance. None of them really got into how they were supporting themselves. I think they were probably all living at home, but they were saying, hey, we need a work-life balance. We shouldn't work ourselves to death like our grandparents did and everybody else, because it's not the most important thing. Some of the most important things is make sure you have yourself, look inward to yourself and have this. And so I'm saying, well, you do what's necessary to survive, right? You're supposed to be self-sustaining. So I didn't get they're doing stuff, but they didn't really get into the details. And the content creator never really asked the questions, or whatever they were doing. They didn't say, well, how are you supporting yourself if you're trying to work in some kind of minimalistic fashion? Are you making a lot of money doing what you're doing? Okay, because that's the only way you're not trading hours for dollars to live. If you have some kind of something you're doing that's bringing in money so you can decide what kind of life you have. But I think most those girls, they had to be living at home or still mooching off of somebody in their parents or grandparents' generation. And so I just think that Gen Zers and everybody who blames the past, just like the blackity blacks blame the past on slavery. We've been emancipated since 63. A good what's that? Almost what's that? 160 years ago.
Mhm.
And in 160 years, Jim Crow, redlining, all the bad shit, lynching, all the stuff that happened to us, we still have the most millionaires in the world that are black in a concentrated area in America. How can that be? Institutional racism. This shit's leaking like a sieve because we got black people successful everywhere. And so we keep focusing on bullshit, and and it just never ends. It just never ends.
We got interesting perspectives tonight. That's what's up. So that was dope. I'm gonna get y'all in on something a little more fun now. And I know it's funny, Chaotic is here on this. I know he has.
I saw Chaotic on E Black's thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was watching that as well. That was interesting.
Yeah, good show, Chaotic.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about one of the other, I guess we can say, epidemics. It's not.
Okay.
I mean, let me just be real. This is a Western thing where we do this type of thing, but I just want to get y'all's take on this particular video, and anybody can go. This is Sexy Red at her baby shower. Would anybody like to watch that shit again, or y'all good?
No.
Nah.
No, let me go real quick. So since we said anybody can go, let me just say, first of all, one of the things about, I don't really care what happens to Sexy Red, but nobody really asks her who the father of that kid is. You know why? Because most people don't believe she knows who it is.
Damn.
She's a whore, right? Well, I never heard his name mentioned once anywhere.
He took pictures with her, R-Pain.
I think
so maybe you follow it. I don't.
I do.
She knows,
Okay.
but man.
Her and Sukiyama.
Oh, that's EBD's girl.
I like Suki. I like Suki.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. All right, man. Listen, all I'm saying is, since I don't follow her, every time I hear about her and her baby, I never hear mention of the guy's name. So if he is around, then that's a miracle.
Damn,
and we don't know if he's the real father anyway. It could just be some asshole hanging on.
I don't mind the video much. Just as long as, like, when that baby pops out, like, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be raised in the best conditions. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have a mom with some money, but I mean, is it really gonna?
We're on the same shit, EBD.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying, because a lot of ladies gonna be like, "Oh, this is bashing. They're gonna have a mother and father that loves them." Bullshit. The simple fact that I'm not sure what baby showers are supposed to look like. I'm not gonna force any kind of norms or customs on anyone, but I'm pretty sure at the celebration of new life, a pregnant woman bending over to shake her ass to twerk for the audience isn't a part of anybody's rituals in any culture, right? And I think just the visual, this is why I get so up in arms about this type of stuff. I pray my daughter never gets to see the women that look like her act like that. Like, I don't know. I might have to. Can you blind a child on purpose and like until they're of a certain age? Like, I don't want her to see this shit, man. I don't want her to see it, because it's like, look, man, the women that look like you, they are doctors, they are lawyers, they are well spoken, and I want to pass that image off first, and I want that to weigh on her first before she ever sees some shit like Sexy Red is doing and all these other women, man. I'm telling you.
I think
Trigger, to your point, I may be the youngest person up here, but this is our culture. These women up here twerking at baby showers, like I guarantee you you scroll through Instagram, these women are twerking. They letting they little toddlers twerk, and the father walk in the room. The father, the toddler know how to stop twerking when the father walk in the room. This is our culture now. And I mean, to your point about our black women are doctors and nurses and some of the worst ones these days. They the
I
main
agree.
ones twerking.
Agreed.
It's like they promote the ratchet shit. They even do it at their job. They doing TikToks at their jobs. This is our culture now.
I'll give you my opinion on the trigger, Mike.
Go ahead, Chief.
I look at that as it's a dollar sign. The steel industry, the clothing industry, the food industry. Think about all the logistics that go into a prison. I just look at, she is creating the next generation of prisoners.
Yep.
And how can I profit off of that? I'm looking at it like, damn, how can I profit off of that little niglet that she's about to have? That's the way I look at it. What is the next little nonprofit I can come up with so I can get money from investors to fund a mentoring program? Because I know that little nigga kid is going to be a degenerate.
Damn.
Oh, I look at it as I'm a superior black. I look at her as just hey, you do live and let live. But I know this, that one day I'm gonna benefit off of your degeneracy. So act all the fool you want. Act like a complete whole nigga to me. Act like a damn wild banshee. But I know that I'm gonna profit off of you. So whether it's building more prisons, benefiting off of whatever, because like a lot of the material in prisons are made by manufacturing companies that are for profit. They're publicly traded. I think Airmark is one of them. Oh yeah, start getting stock right now. That's what I say. Fuck them. Fuck these degenerate blacks. I say
fuck them chaotic.
Truth be told, I wish I could enslave them. To be honest with you, I would love to enslave some of these people.
Yo, and the part that I do agree with that CT is talking about. I said in order for this is something that every other culture does. Every other culture makes a very staunch effort to dissociate themselves with their degenerate class, but Black American people won't do it. Like it's almost like we either afraid or we got too many people on that side that we love, so we got to act like we're all one. Hell no. So that part I do agree with. You have to disassociate. And now I realize why they do it. I have kids now. And if Sexy Red was my cousin, my kid's not going to her house. She's not babysitting them ever. You see what I'm saying? So whether we believe it or not, we have to find a way, because they won't stop. They don't see that's what I said. They don't see nothing wrong with what they're doing. No, they don't find that as inappropriate. You got a whole baby in your belly, busting it wide open. She don't see nothing inappropriate with that. So if you are that old, what is she? Late 20s, and this is the lifestyle you're gonna lead, you can have that. But me and my people gonna be over here, and we're gonna operate. We're gonna go. Our computer is running on a different operating system. But go ahead.
Trigger, can I say something? To that point earlier about you saying that the fathers are the leaders and they sacrifice. You right. Like, you are the one that's standing up saying that your kids won't be a part of this. But now how do you know your wife not taking your kids over there to that ratchet auntie house, to that ratchet party? Yeah, me personally, like, these women, they literally going against structure. They would do anything to get these men out the house these days. If they find a man with structure, they don't want him.
Damn. Now that's real. Me personally, I don't got that problem, but a lot.
I wasn't talking about you, Trick. I know you got it on lock.
Like, me personally, that was all of my upbringing, because I didn't like African girls like that. For some reason, and my dad was basically letting me know. He said, "Listen, man, you gonna bring this girl to me when you pick her, because this is basically what he was saying. He was basically saying, if a woman does not believe what you believe, she will use the power of this government to destroy you, your children, and all that." And I didn't even understand what he meant until I grew up, and see what all my homeboys are going through with these women. And one of the reasons my wife now, when we were dating, she was starting to get frustrated. Like, boy, are you gonna marry me? What is taking so long? I was like, you don't understand the process. You have to be bought into this shit that I'm doing. So I'm watching you very closely. That's why my dad came over for Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like, he watching you very closely to see if you really this person you showing yourself off to be, because you can't change. We don't play that shit. Like, and when I mean we don't play that shit, I have family members that have taken their children to Africa to go live. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. They've kidnapped their own children to take them away from the mom in America because the mom was on some bullshit. So he's basically saying, I'm trying to make sure we don't got to do that because he want you. And if you corrupt these children, these are our blood. We won't let that shit happen, right? So, I absolutely believe what you're saying, Ashton.
Hey, Trigger,
That shit, there's nothing that means more to me than that. So that the woman that you choose got to be completely bought into whatever you're doing, which is, if we're going to really be honest, this is why dudes primarily choose women from their culture or their like own neighborhood. You got to choose women that grew up exactly like you grew up.
Yeah, you're right,
Most
Mike.
of the time.
But guys ain't doing. I mean, guys are not getting married either. It's not just the women.
No,
Men are not getting married just for the. Men are not asking women to marry them just for the reasons you just said, because they said they can't find a woman that's going to get on their program in the West.
Indeed.
That's why you got the passport bro movement. That's why you got all these other things. Men are discerning too. They know that since you're the gatekeeper of marriage, and I'm gonna be real quick, you are accountable for the kind of woman you bring in. I mean, it's as simple as that. And a lot of guys are starting to realize that. How many Joe Smiths do we need to see to realize that a woman can destroy you? Listen, the biggest decision you can make in your life is the woman that lays next to you, and on a daily basis. A woman can destroy a man. We know it. We talk about shit in one direction about men being predators of women physically, but women are absolute the apex predator against men, especially in the West. And it plays itself out over and over and over. The women who used to love you are your biggest enemies. Shit, look at this. Angelina Jolie.
When you start talking like that, Pain, I like this new Pain. Nah, you ain't been talking like this heavy EBD.
Yeah, listen. Everybody evolves, even old heads. But I never was one of these guys. I'm still an advocate for marriage, but I have to realize that there's got to be something. There's got to be a material. There's got to be a woman to marry. You can't just let anybody in, man. And I just reflect on. I'm gonna understand. I reflect on my wife. All through our marriage, I never forgot that this woman next to me, I have to have a certain amount of respect at all times, because if she changes up, my whole life would be destroyed. Period. Because she didn't work. Not in a job that she could self-sustain herself. So I'd be paying for her, and somebody be busting those cheeks in the house that I bought. So I said I can't have that.
And when you put it like that,
wearing your robe too, Pain.
No, you put it like that. That shit is
about toothbrush and shit.
You know what I said though, to your point where you said that, because people say men don't want to get married. Listen, this is the interesting part about it, man. And we don't want to put all the blame on women. It's not really a blame. It's just the sign of the times, right? When you put a man and a woman together for long enough, what's going to happen? Are they going to end up fucking? Yes or no?
Yeah, they're going to end up fucking.
So the same thing, people don't realize that the same thing is true in marriage. Put men and women together long enough, they're going to start pairing off with each other. That's essentially, in the most primal sense, that's all marriage is. Take the legality out of it. It is a man and a woman pairing off. Remember, there is a large amount of familiarity in marriage, meaning this woman got your kids. A man is extremely protective over his own children, his own legacy, his own home, right? So we're acting like that this is something that men have to be willed into to do. No, if men aren't that's how natural pairing off with a woman is. And if men are abstaining from that shit, there are serious reasons as to why they would do that. That needs to be explored.
Yeah, but let me. It's not that that what you just said is absolutely true. What they're saying is they're not marrying the women that was chosen for them. Meaning, a lot of black men don't want to marry black women.
Oh yeah, that's
Even though the numbers, and we're down to 30%. So we're down to 30%, right? And it's still dropping. But those men might want to get married, but they can't find a woman that wants to get on their program. They got a lot of women want to be partners. I would eliminate a woman who called me her partner and shit. I wish my wife would call me her partner. You know, we're not partners. You're my wife and I'm your husband.
But they say that they don't say the word partner to institute some kind of 50-50 relationship. What they're trying to assert is that they have half as much power and half as much respect and half as much say as you do in the relationship, even though your responsibility is 100% to provide and protect. So what they're saying is it doesn't like you're the protector and the provider, but that doesn't diminish my role as an equal authoritarian, meaning I don't have to listen to everything you have to say. It's still at my discretion. That's what being a partner is. It means that your assets.
It's a bad deal.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
means
I
your
think
assets are negated by my feelings.
Yeah.
You know what it is. You know what it is too. This is both. This is the fault of both the man and the woman. But everybody is operating from a fear mindset, fear of what may go down, fear of what may happen.
Right.
And we got to realize if we're going back to see how people did it, everybody had a service mindset. I have heard more women talk about the type of husband they want, but never talk about the type of wife they want to be. I only hear men talk about the type of wife they want, but not the type of husband they want to be. Everybody is like, nah, serve me first. And then I'll come around. Now, I got to see what you're going to do for me first. That shit is backwards. That is backwards. Because like you see, like they say nice guys finish last. I think that's an incomplete statement. Nice guys finish. When they finish, if we're not even realizing that nobody else finishes the race but the well-intentioned people that lead with service first. It is a pleasure to be around people who serve. Ultimately, we complete things. We get shit done ultimately. Every woman that ever passed up on a nice guy is blowing his freaking phone up right now, looking at his Instagram every day to see if he's single. Because this man can facilitate a dream. He led with service. He told you what he was going to do from start to finish, and he did that shit. To be like with a man like that or a woman like that is a pleasure. It is my honor to serve you in this union. And when two people serve each other like that, we have a functional, thriving society. We have thriving children. Everybody is looking to be served first and won't jump in the double dutch train until the person does something for them. Man, it's crazy, bro.
I have a question for y'all, just based off marriage and things like that. What would be a good number as far as if we could take every one of us, male, female, and marry everybody up, and whoever's left over was left over? What would be a good number for that?
You mean
as far as we can take each adult marriage eligible and marry them up, and there's going to be a certain percentage that's not married. What would be a good number to match everybody up and say, okay, we have a number. We had before 2006, at least 50% of us were married.
Yeah,
that were marriage eligible. Before that, feminism really took over. Over 64% of us were married, who were marriage eligible. What would be a good number today? Because if our marriage rate is in the 30s, what would be a good number today to say, okay?
So you said, you know what? That's an excellent question. You said, where was it in the 64%? That was the 90s, right?
No, 64%. It was up until the 60s, late 60s. Then feminism brought it to 50.
I will go to that time when I was a teenager, like 1999.
So back
like
to 50%.
Late 90s. 55% would be my number.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay.
For some reason, when most of the people in the community are married, it's almost like the people who have to suffer from the single parent household dynamic don't suffer as much. It's that they don't suffer as much because they still have an example. I remember my family, and some of the other like immigrant families, some of the black families, they were the anchor for all of those kids who did not have fathers. So it was like a majority rules type of thing. You know what I mean? Like it was easy for my dad to be like, "Hey, go get your friend. Tell him to come to the skating ring with us." It was easy to do that when at least it was 6 out of 10 fathers in the community. It was like, "Hey, you could come. I'll pay for this person." When it's a majority, it can work, right? It's not optimal, but it can work. But when you're in the deficit, 3 dads out of 10 ain't paying for the 7 other kids.
And this is the dynamic over the last 30-something years. When it went to this number, it's really digressed in the last 30 years. And I always go back to this time. Go back and watch the movie Baps. If you ever seen that movie, you're seeing the same uniform today that started back in 1994 to make fun of the sisters. They have embraced this uniform culture. Since then, man, brothers, we continue to evolve. It's a different type of young man. You know, they wearing different type of clothes. They have a different type of personality. But over time, as they age closer to 40, they evolve to wanting more for themselves and are looking to really upgrade then. Now, a lot of and if you go back then, a lot of brothers didn't wait from 19 to 35 to figure it out. They was trying to figure that shit out by 21, 22. They were making life-changing decisions by that time. Like, I need something different. This shit ain't working. Even though you were living with mama said you gonna work. Mama made you clean the house and do all the, manly stuff around the house. When you acted a fool, she would call daddy 2 blocks over and come over and get in your ass and calm you back down, and you were able to navigate. Mama was 5'3", 130 pounds, and all of her sons were 6'6".
But Trey, to your point, why is the dad 2 blocks down?
But what I'm saying is that was the part of the feminism movement. Dad couldn't be in the house because Mama chose that. But Mama still understood that she couldn't do it alone, and she would find somebody, some righteous guy. It may not have been dad, could have been an uncle, could have been a grandfather. It was somebody she would attach that boy to at some point. She wasn't saying, I can do this shit all by myself. I don't need no man. The hell they don't. And they understood that. But they also understood they had a role in dedication to the children, because you never saw your mama's titties after 12 years old. You never saw your mama's cheeks. When the last time you seen your mama's cheek? Well, that was a different time. Now kids are growing up seeing everybody's ass. The boys are showing their ass. The girls are showing their ass. Boys are learning how to fight and scrap and scream and be and all this. They can curse before they can read. A lot of that is just learned behavior. But then it ain't even got to necessarily be the mother. It can be the cousin, that uncle, that auntie that don't really like somebody. They'll feed your ass all kinds of shit. And this is where a lot of youth are getting caught up at, because they want to do right. But everybody that's close to them, everybody that they believe that they should trust, is telling them the world ain't shit. Don't count on nobody. And here you are, Trigger Mike, you coming on like, look, you can do this if you do this. It might take you 10 years to click that switch on in somebody's head who's been eating garbage for 10 years. I've seen it. I've seen it in the inner cities. These kids are giving fucked up names. Your name is Do Dirt, and you 9 years old. What the hell is Do Dirt? When you find out what the hell Do Dirt is, you're going to do some dirt. That's all I'm saying. And it's a different time. So if you pass forward, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I ain't trying to cut you off, Trey, but I mean, like, to your point and to Trigger point as well, that kid wouldn't be that ratchet cousin house if the father was there. I still got to place blame on the mother. I still got to place blame on the mother for that, because like Trigger said, he wouldn't take his kid over that ratchet auntie house, and that same kid that you talking about going over there because the father not in the house. He can't tell that kid to go. I gotta place that blame on that mother.
So listen, I'm gonna blame. Let me say this. I'm gonna blame it on both, because here's the dynamic.
Yeah, me too.
A mother, listen. You take 2 16-year-olds, and like we say, we having sex. 2 16-year-olds. Both of us, we just haven't said we ain't thinking about the future. We ain't thinking about nothing. We can go home. I can bone 5 girls tonight and go home and sleep in my twin size bed that my mama provided for me. And that's the dynamic. We all are kids and we have that no supervision. And mama is not going to give up her food stamp link card and her $600 a month to get with a man to say, no, we're not going to spend all this money out. We're going to save, we're going to build. She's not going to get that power up because the government will tell her, you have to choose the man or you're going to be alone. And this is what we're seeing now. We're seeing 2 or 3 generations in it.
What's the solution? I mean,
the solution is us men, like we do. You sit in this space, you get information, you get little tools, and then you take to your little clan of guys and around. And it's not for everybody, but you have to be willing to work with them a couple of years. If you got a son, tell him bring his friend. Like you bring your 2 little friends, and I'm gonna sit them down while we eating and say, this is the things men must do. And it's not going to resonate to you until you start getting a little older, because once you're out on your own as a man, shit falls apart. You ain't got
let me tell you where the men have fault in this is because a part of it is our arrogance as men. A part of it is our arrogance.
Okay, explain that.
You cannot create the perfect woman. We men got to understand that we don't live in the time of the boomers. We don't live in time of Gen X, where there were whole regions and communities of good women, because those women were made for you. They were made by their mothers, right? This is why we used to ask, does she got a sister?
Yeah.
Came from the same house. I watched your sister get married. Look at the type of woman she is. Does she got a sister? No. Now we're in a time where we think we can pick our aesthetic preference, and she's just going to end up being luck of the draw, a good woman or a good wife. Most boys don't even know what makes up a virtuous woman. They are picking based on their loins, whatever I feel about her, and we just gonna rock out the way we rock out. Hell no. I was raised in such a strict fashion on that topic. Woman, virtuosity of men, women, morals, religion, all of that. Something internally, that put something internally on me to where I just could not take a ratchet woman serious. And it was that boyish quality where you really love ghetto girls. I think we all went through that shit. Some of y'all probably still going through that shit. So, you know what I mean? You really love girls who are just have no manners, but it's like an intensity about them and a spontaneity about them. You just want to, you know, they fuck quick. They do all that shit super early. They'll suck it for an hour, all that type of shit. So you mesmerize.
Yeah, I like that.
To be in their presence. But something in me used to be like, let me chill, bro. I'm getting a little, I don't know. I just kissed this chick in the mouth. What the hell wrong with me? I used to be like, let me chill, because you're not the type. I cannot take you home.
I mean, you guys, you know,
I've had a bad addiction like that before. I've had a woman that's like, you know, that
we all have.
I know, but we're not trying to marry her either. We understand that we can't create the perfect wife, but I think
we can play with something in the meantime.
That's true, but I think the disconnect as far as the younger generation and how they're going to move through relationships, especially now in the year 2024, is we have to tell them to rely on their senses and teach them about their senses in the face-to-face interaction, and tell them to stop relying on social media, because social media are going to be just words on text, and pictures are going to be just images on a phone, rather than getting the full effect of meeting a person and meeting someone in person, getting their full experience in a coffee date or whatever date you want to go on, and then go through some serious vetting as far as who you want to be in a relationship with. That way, you know who you do and don't want to be with, rather than keep swiping on these apps. These apps aren't going to tell you who you really want and don't want. They're just playing to your visual aesthetics, but they're never going to get down to the person that you're going to need to be and mesh well with, telling you that you're going to enjoy their presence, you know, today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. That's something that's only experienced by firsthand.
EBD, I can't let you down dating apps, because them same women on them date apps be the same one chilling in HEB.
Then go see that girl at HEB and holler at her. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I mean, you know what it is though. You know what it is though. I've always said, I've long said this is the issue of the modern generation. The men trivialize sex and the women trivialize childbirth. I knew straight up the biggest mistake I could ever make was to get a freak jank pregnant. And a lot of dudes don't have a seriousness about that. You see what I'm saying? So if
Mike,
I think we
Yo,
do,
no,
Trigger. I think me personally, I think that a lot of us have the same experience as you. We like the little freaknik woman, but we know when to go to the classic woman. My personal saying is a man can have a wallpaper or be driving a Ford Bronco. Like we know how to multitask. But it's
but
it's
these
the
dudes,
the wretched chick that try to trap you at the end of the day, and or it's the woman that's wretched that's going around telling you all these bad stories. So you thinking that is not no good guys out there. Me personally,
okay, so Mike and Ashton, y'all said something, right? There was no time in history, Mike, when men didn't trivialize sex. There's not one period of time when men didn't have a constant demand for sex. Healthy heterosexual men.
Yep.
Back in my day, before my day, back in Marcus Aurelius' day, that's what we were born to do.
Yeah.
You know, we by nature, we have an imperative to procreate, right? It's the discernment that has to be taught to a man. You can't tell a man to get off of the internet. You can't tell a man not to want to screw women. You can't tell him that. You can't, but you can tell him the consequences of doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And we don't do that enough, right? I've said this before, and I get all kinds of fucking pushback on this thing. If you tell a kid, listen, I know you're gonna have sex, but if you do with a certain kind of woman and she gets pregnant, then your life is not yours for the next 25 years. Let's just use 25. Really, for a lifetime, you cleave to this woman, right? And you talk about the consequences of your actions, so that when they get into a situation, they at least have had that conversation. If you're in a cut ready for a sex with a woman, and she tells you not to put a condom on, son, you have a choice to make. You go ahead and have sex with her, and you shoot up that club, and now all your power is gone, because everything that happens to her, you're going to be responsible for half of that kid if she gets pregnant, or if she wants to keep it or not. We don't tell kids that. We tell them not to have sex. That's bullshit. They ain't listening to that. That's like saying just be abstinent. You got to talk to them about the consequences of their actions. Just like as we get older, the reason why we don't do stupid shit is because we have discernment, because we measure the consequence of it. Don't have to be sex. Every move we make, if you're a discerning man, is based on the consequence of that action you're going to take, because there's usually a reaction when you make a move, and so that's what I'm saying. So if we want to help the community, if we want to help young men, we got to tell them the truth about the consequences of their actions, because they're going to take most men who are in a scarcity mindset, because most men can't just get sex that easy. They're going to take sex from a woman any way she gives it. It's just true. We can't fight some truisms.
but our we can't. You can't just go from not having sex to a woman telling you don't put a condom on. Like a couple of months ago, we were just talking about Drake. We were just talking about a couple of months ago how Drake had to go to court because the woman took the condom out the trash can and it had hot sauce in it. Sue him.
So what does that have to do with what I said?
We can't sit here and say that these kids don't know nothing about getting a woman pregnant or just messing up for 20 years. Like we gotta actually look at the real problem. Like some of these women are trapping these men.
No.
Some of these women are actually trapping these men. So sit here and tell me that that's not true?
No. The man still has to be able. The man still has to have a level of discernment. How do you get trapped unless you walk into it?
Pain. So you mean?
No. I'm asking you a question. How do you get trapped? I'm
Oh,
asking.
so Pay, you gotta answer my question. You mean to tell me a woman can't trap a man?
No, not unless he wants to be trapped.
Not unless you want to be trapped.
I'm trying.
That's what you think, Pay?
You asked me, and I'm answering. Listen, Drake threw the truck. I would tell a kid, if you have sex with a woman with a condom, you throw that shit away, you empty it out, you clean it out, and you make sure you dispose of it. Don't leave it up to
Hey,
the bitch. I mean, that's what you
hey,
got to
Got
do.
sued. She still took him
hey,
to
listen,
court, Pay.
No, he
listen.
put hot sauce in it and left it all nasty because he wanted the trick bag. Or so what? He could pay for a little court.
How the hell you so a man can trick bag hold on, Pay. So you telling me a man can trick bag a woman, but a woman can't trap a man? Is that what you been here tell me?
He didn't try to trap her. She
No,
tried
you
to
said
trap him.
no Trigger. Did you hear what he said? He said that Drake tried to trick bag
Yeah,
her.
I think he was being evil when he did that. He knew that the bitch was
Evil,
going to try to get some. Yeah,
evil.
he knew she was going to go try to get some sperm, man. He knew it. He said, "This ratchet honey's
I
going to
got
go."
I gotta
Well,
go
I
to
got
work,
you.
Trigger. I'm gonna talk to y'all later on. I'm gonna talk to y'all fellas later on.
Asking before you go, take some hot sauce and put it in that condom and put it on and see what it feel like.
Hell no. We're gonna be
I'm gonna
ready.
talk to y'all fellas later on.
Yo, man,
All right.
fucking is
All
it.
right.
We got another video, man. This one's actually pretty sad. I'm gonna let
Before you go to the video, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna be real quick. I mean, am I crazy what I'm saying in terms of how we can help kids in terms of
no.
or men?
So I 100% agree with what you said about consequences. That is what see the way we talk about it. We and this is my ultimate advice. Stop talking about this shit around the women. Don't let them weigh in on it at all. They cause confusion.
Yeah.
Especially when it's time for us to talk to our boys.
Yeah.
The reason why we have to talk to the boys alone is because there is sin in the sex, but we also got to remember that everything dealing with the carrying of a child and the birth of a child, the man is secondary. So you don't really feel as if there not going to be any consequences until it comes to the point where you can't stop anything that happens. You feel powerless because everything is secondary. You're secondary to carrying a child. You're secondary to birth. And then when the child is born, they want to make you primary everything. Right? So you got to let him understand the consequences that come after, way after. Because right now it's just pussy. Right. So if somebody doesn't paint that picture clear for them, they won't get it.
I hear you. And the other thing we need to do is answer Trey's question. Listen, if you need to get the marriage rate back to 55%, how do we get it from 30 to 50? Not now, but how do we get it from 30 now to 55%? How do we get it there? I mean, you can show your video, but we can try to come back.
I can answer that. After this.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, his ghetto point of view just came up real quick, so I know it's you. Then you came back.
All right,
go ahead, EBD.
If it were up to me, just real quick, I mean, I don't know how in this technological world it might be possible, but if you think about age restriction, if we put age restriction on most things, it keeps it out of a child's hands. That's kind of where our laws came from. So when we did it with music, we said all these DVDs or CDs have to have music ratings. And therefore, when you purchase it or consume it, you have to verify your age before you can purchase it. So we did the same thing with adult content, but I think now we should be able to try and do it with social media. That way we can keep it out of teenagers' hands. They can only access maybe public sites, but all of social media, they should be locked out of until maybe either 18, 21. That way, even if they have their phones at school, what social media are they accessing? It should be anything that's only public for kids and not anything for adults until they're adults themselves. That might help. I think that might help.
There y'all go thinking like a man.
Let me answer this from Blue Pepsi. Says, how can a woman trap a man? That's up to a man to be trapped. All right, let me just be 100% transparent. Yes, you can trap a man. All right, you can absolutely trap a man. Here's why. Sex is a man's weakness. And personally, okay, I moved in with my now wife, and I did not get her pregnant. Do you know how our first child was conceived? I was asleep. I don't tell that story often. This lady got drunk, okay, came home from an ugly sweater Christmas party, and mounted herself. You see what I'm saying? I wake up in the middle, well, I guess the middle, like, all right, whoa, okay, bet, cool. And she's going to town. And I'm like, you better get up. Y'all already know how that story goes. A month and a half later, I hear her yelling from the bathroom, telling me she's pregnant. Okay. I spent the next month kind of scratching my head like, is this how men get trapped? Right?
Is that what your father told you? Is that what your father taught you?
Is this how men get trapped? You see what I'm saying? Like, damn. Because I was careful for years. But nah, men can absolutely get trapped by
That's not getting trapped, man.
That's
not a good story. That's not. I mean, I hear you. It sounds like a trap, but
the trap. But remember, the trap involves that it usually involves birth control. So let's just be real. A man can get trapped, but it's not all a woman's fault. The man has to be stupid enough to fall for the trick.
Okay, so
the man has to be dumb enough to fall for the trick. The number one trick of getting trapped is I'm on birth control. I'm sorry. The number two trick is I'm allergic to latex. Let's just call it what it is. Those are the two. If you wait till a man's meat is out to tell him you're allergic to latex, he ain't listening to shit after that. If he ain't listening to nothing.
All right. So all right. So
I have a son. He turned 21 as of today. He is in the dynamic. He's in the dynamic that y'all speaking about, and he wants to say something.
Yeah, say something.
To what our page said. Come on in. They can hear you.
How y'all doing?
All right, man.
Hey, what's up?
One of the things my fathers always tell me is to not have a child of wedlock, and the reason that is because the effect it has on you is going to be detrimental. Especially, it's going to hurt you financially and mentally. The psychological effect that a female is going to bring, she going to have issues as far as with your child, not being able to see your child, putting you on child support. It's just going to be a lot of different things that's going to affect you mentally that you might not be able to deal with. So it's just out of your best interest not to have a child at all by any means. Because females nowadays, they kind of look at kids as more as like a lottery ticket, especially knowing that after a full 18 years, they might have another baby daddy, another full set of 18 years, they have money coming in. So it's just never really a good look for you.
Can I ask you a question, young man? Since you're 21, I could ask you this question. Is that okay? That means you're being responsible. But are you still busting some chicks down?
Yeah.
All right, then. So you just the point we're trying to make is, and you made the point that there's consequences to your actions. So if you're gonna do it, you got to be responsible, right? You got to wear rubber. You got to. Whether she tells you, hey man, it's time. I know you. You know me. Let's raw dog. For the woman, let me ask you: a woman ever asked you to raw dog?
Say it again.
Did a woman ever ask you to raw dog? To go raw
all the time.
Daddy right there. Goddamn, man.
All the time.
Daddy right there.
In all honesty, they don't even think about condoms. They just want you to go raw. We know.
I've been
a victim for the trap, man.
Y'all didn't invent sex. This shit been around. They don't like condoms. They all pretending they don't like condoms.
Don't thank you, man.
You know my favorite thing is.
Is he gone already? Because I was gonna say something to him, but if he's still around, he should come. Let me tell him something. This is what when I was 23 years old, right? If he can come around, when I was 23 years old, right? Actually, I started at the age of 17. We grew up at the height of HIV/AIDS, right? So pregnancy wasn't our concern. Our concern was getting AIDS. So I do tell young folks this: put pregnancy apart. That you can survive after 18 years, right? But there are things that can kill you. That you got to be careful. There are things you can't cure. That you got to be careful. Something like something like hypees, right? Those are very, very critical. Hypees.
What the fuck is that?
You don't know what the hell is hypees?
No. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're saying.
You mean herpes?
Herpes, come on. I call it herpes, man. That's what we say. No, here, no. I'm sorry. Here, you guys say herpes. I know, but the way we say, we call it herpes because our pronunciation is different. But let me just say herpes. It's a very, very serious thing. You see what I'm saying? Look at Houston today. Look at what is going on in Houston. A lot of these kids in Houston don't know that they're going to live with this stuff for a long time, for the rest of their lives. They're going to live with it. So, pregnancy, to me, yes, we use that as a point to scare or encourage young adults not to misbehave, but there are things worse than pregnancy, bro. There are things worse than pregnancy. So just let me put it this way. Concentrate on the most important thing, which is your education. Education will never make you rich. I tell people all the time, education will never make you rich, but it guarantees you middle life. You're going to have middle life income. It's going to make you to be in the middle class. You see what I'm saying? It guarantees you middle class, but it doesn't make you rich. There is nothing as good as having something that if you're injured or something happens to you, you are guaranteed to be in the middle class. That's education. So concentrate on that. If you are under the age of 30, right? Don't worry about women. And I got to tell you one other thing. When you have it,
you can't tell men that.
No, Mr. Penn, I'm heading somewhere. Mr. Penn, don't worry. As a young man, think about things you can do tomorrow to survive today. And then as you do that, it propels you for a better tomorrow. Just get you one girl. Sex is very serious. I got to tell you guys one thing that we don't discuss with young men like this. As a young man, he has a lot of energy. The testosterone is on fire. Yeah, you can't discourage a young man like that not to have a girlfriend, but tell him not to chase after women. Don't worry about women. Just concentrate on one girl. That's it. Okay, my plane landed.
So let me say this to young boy. So I did like what you said about what your dad told you. That's 100% correct. And it's not just about not having kids because it'll ruin your life. This is what it's actually about. Your children need you. You need to be in control. Don't ever give up control because that's what it's about. Don't let anybody fool you. It is about control, and the likelihood that your family survives is the need for you to be in control. Once you give a reckless woman, your seed, you lose control. You need to be in charge of your children's discipline. You need to be in charge of where they live. You need to be the head of the household. Don't ever give up your control for a meaningless nut. So that is what you are giving up every time they ask you to take off the condom. Every time you nut in there. So when people will they use shaming tactics to say you're controlling, I say you damn right. My family thrives because I'm in control. My children are safe sleep in their beds right now because I'm in control. What women are essentially doing is they are envious of us. So they want to try their best to emulate and have the type of efficiency and control that we have. That's not their position. All right. So they're doing their best to do act like, well, if a man can do it, I can, and they're failing. They're failing. And it's our fault partially because a lot of these idiot men keep giving up their control to the women by giving them their seed when they don't deserve it. So that's what this is about. When you look at your seed and your ability to control a situation, your ability to choose a woman, and that woman follow you around, that is the way it's supposed to be. You are supposed to be in control at all times. Don't let anybody ever tell you different. Oh, you share this. No, you need to be in control for the viability of your family that you wish to create. That is my greatest pride and joy on this earth. I created my family. All right. I don't have a child all, somewhere with that a woman is making decisions for him and some other nigga. I'm in control. My children have my last name. You understand? That's what it's about.
I totally agree with you on that aspect, because personally, I'm really fond of being in relationships. That's something I always was looking forward to, but as sad as it is in this generation, I've always tried. It just never works out. Nowadays, it seems like that's not really the focus of what females are really looking for. So nowadays I just go for what I can get. That's why now I just move around, dabble with different women, but it's not the type of lifestyle I really want to pursue, but that's just kind of what I'm in and I'm experiencing right now. But I 100% agree with everything you're saying.
Stay away from that lifestyle. That will get you in trouble. You see, sometimes I know you do watch. You do watch. You do watch programs like this, and also you do go to other channels, right? They tell you, oh, women get many bodies, and then they get confused because of all these bodies that they got, right? You do hear that. It happens to men too. Men get confused as well. It's not only women that get confused about bodies. When you rack up bodies as a man, you get confused. It messes you up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not too crazy though. I'm not like that much out there where I'm just doing too much, but I do experience just a little bit. But I try not to.
Well, let me say this: Ekene is correct. We don't experience trauma like women do. One of the things that a lot of guys do when they look at women just like another piece of steak, they can't see they miss the good ones. Sometimes if you ain't looking for a woman, if you're not looking, or if you're just looking at women as for conquest, you could miss the good ones because you're not looking for what's in there. So like for me, when I got married, I was 25, 26 or something like that when I found my wife and we got engaged. But I didn't fool around with no women for like from 6 to 9 months, not even for a casual date. My head was completely clear. I didn't get nothing, right? And so when my wife appeared, I was able to recognize that there was something different here. I was able to recognize, and I attributed it to the fact that my head was clear. Yeah, so that part of it, yeah.
You know what?
Every so often you gotta
let me respond to
clear your head.
So this, and then we're gonna get to his ghetto point of view. Didi says, "You see, they never push abstinence to young men." Let me actually say something on this. That's because they ain't gonna listen. That's because
they have testosterone.
No, Ikene said, "Make sure you don't focus on women," and I was like, "Bruh, you are now the number one person they're not gonna listen to. They literally gonna check out on your advice and go listen to somebody else's advice. We know they're not gonna listen. Most of the rules that were made in this world were written in blood. All of the rules are written around what people know we're going to do. We know young people are gonna have sex. I hope somebody can wait till they're 30. As you can clearly see, there are more male virgins than there are women virgins. Okay, so nobody listening right now. All right, but that's what I got to say. We know that shit ain't gonna happen. What the hell we pushing it for? We could tell the whole church, people in the church in the back room smashing, the preacher smashing. Okay, we know that shit ain't gonna happen.
Abstinence is not built into the human biology. It is not natural. Only asexual.
We're gonna get
like life needs no other partner. When we're talking about male and female, abstinence is not a real thing.
Let's get his ghetto point of view and then Didi in there. Sorry to make y'all wait that long. Y'all go ahead.
Nah, you good. You good. Peace to the chat. Salute to the panel. As always, great discussion. And Brother Trey, definitely appreciate you even bringing your son up for us to even have a moment to chop it up with him. Just the fact that you got him there with you is a blessing in and of itself that so many young men don't get. So salute to you for that, for real, because I mean, the fact that you got him there with you in his young 20s means that you've been able to sharpen his sword for a long time coming. So, you know, he's going to be a great man either way. I'm sure you're going to make sure of that. But if I could just add a couple jewels, what's the young brother into, if you don't mind me asking?
He's into physical fitness. You know, he goes to the gym a lot. You know, he's getting his forklift certificate or whatever that's called, certification or whatever. But, you know, like I said, he's 21 now. He's 21 as of today. So, you know, and I've just been talking to him about just finding a career, something that he's really into, and know that I'm going to be right here to make sure that he don't veer too off to something crazy, and just help him navigate this dating pool, because I'm seeing it, and he's scared. Most young men are scared, and they're scared of what they might get. But I'm still telling them, like you said, you may get 1 or 2 chances to find that true love. You just got to be ready and looking.
Very true.
Make sure you can cook.
I would just say this. 21 is very young to be trying to focus on like a serious relationship. Like you said, he should just be trying to focus on acquiring skills, figuring out what he wants to do as far as making money, running businesses, whatever type of education he wants to pursue. That'd just be my personal humble perspective on it, because I don't mean to be vulgar, but I mean, if he's already been in some pussy, you already been in some pussy, young man, you know, it's not too many differences in the pussies out here. The flavors is all kind of the same. I don't mean these women will tell you that they pussies is all dynamite and all this and that. Forgive me for being vulgar, but these women's pussies all feel the same. They really do. Some women a little tighter, some women a little looser, some women got more labia majora, labia minora, all that. Listen, man, all these women's vaginas feel the same. Don't let these women lie to you and make them, oh, you gotta do extra. No, my man, focus on getting your bag up, focus on getting your skills together, because I guarantee you, all the pussies you feel now, they gonna feel exactly the same after your bag is up. They gonna feel exactly the same after you in a position of authority, after you in a position of control, after you in a position of dominance, and you will be, like Trigger Mike was saying, the one who can control everything in your situation. And I guarantee you, have as all the fun you want, safely, of course. Make sure you out there using protection. Don't be out here lying to girls. Don't get yourself beat up lying to some girl. Don't be chasing these girls and telling them you serious about them. If you not, just tell them they there for a good time and not for a long time. If they there for a good time and not for a long time, be 100% honest. I guarantee you, you will get more action and more play. And I'm sure you've already seen this, young man, because you seem like a handsome young brother. But you get more action and more play if you just be honest with them. Like, yo, I do not want a relationship right now. I'm just getting my tractor degree. I'm just working on plumbing. I'm just working on electricity. I ain't got no time for a wife right now. And I guarantee you, you tell them, yo, me and you could kick it every other Saturday when I ain't working on studying. And I guarantee you that woman will bend over backwards for you every other Saturday with high heels on. Because she appreciates the little bit of time that you give her out your schedule, because she know you a man on your grind. So just be on your mission, be on your grind. And I guarantee you, you grind from now till 28, 29, you will be in a position to be a rock star. And then there will be nothing you can't have in this world, young man. Don't worry about trying to be locked up with no woman, marrying no woman right now. Just my humble opinion. Don't be too serious with these women, wifing them up, giving them promise rings and all that right now, telling them, yeah, it's me and you. Nah, just enjoy life, brother. You are literally at the start of the rocket ship, about to go into the stratosphere. And right now is when you could really pilot your ship to Mars. Just focus. Your pops got you. Just focus, man. You got this. Just focus. Hey, man, don't worry about these girls.
Let me sneak this in there, y'all. Young man, stay close to your father. Do not do the thing where the advice and stay close to your dad, man, and let him ground you. Meaning, do not go so far off that you start to stray from his advice and his guidance because you want to do your own thing. That is where we all start making mistakes. Stay as close to him and his rules and his advice as you possibly can. Adhere to that shit with military precision, because all is going to happen if you don't do that is you're going to end up one of those I should have listened type dudes. We got too many of those now. Man, I should have listened when they tried to tell me. That's what all the 30-somethings and 40-somethings are doing now. Listen now. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna take a little bit of discipline. You're gonna have a lot of semen retention periods. Listen anyway, so you can keep control of your own life.
I want to just thank y'all for even making those statements, because he's hearing it from another voice outside of me. Everything y'all just been saying. We were having this conversation earlier, exactly what you said. People are going to look back. He was telling me, this is how I did. People are going to look back and realize they should have stayed close to you. They should have took your advice. I'm like, hey, that's what I'm trying to do. And y'all saying everything to him. So it's great to hear another voice repeat some things that I've been saying. And here he is right now, hearing other men. So I think it's just a great tool. And I appreciate y'all even giving him that, because now it makes my job 10 times easier. I can sit back and just put a forearm in somebody who's going to try to mess with him. I'm the protector. I'm the pit bull. So come deal with it. Appreciate y'all, man.
Gotcha. Didi, we got Didi waiting. Sorry to keep you waiting. We know we've had all this brotherhood now. There's going to be some terrorism on the panel.
Go on, Didi.
Perhaps the young man should close his ears.
We need our dose of terrorism this evening. So what's going on?
Don't disappoint.
Hey, I see y'all are full of sewage as usual.
Don't say anything bad, Didi, because somebody's listening to his auntie. You're an auntie tonight, okay? You're an auntie, so don't be a terrorist.
I'm big sis. I'm big sis. So this how we gonna do this. Y'all are full of it, and y'all guys speak a lot of circles, and it's very hypocritical. So let me just point out some things. This young man is 21 years old. However, you guys are pushing to him. Don't be concerned with women. Do not have your fun with them. Go ahead and whore yourself out and have all the fun you want. Don't take nobody serious. But yet, the 21-year-old woman, his counterpart, is told to be chaste and abstain, and that she needs to be looking for a husband early. Well, the young men that are her age that she should be looking at to build with, because you also going to tell him that, get with a woman that you can build with. I'm not done talking. I didn't interrupt you.
Oh yeah, let her finish.
So, you guys will also in the same sentence tell a guy, get a woman that can build with you. But you're telling him at this time, do not entertain women while he is building. But then you will tell him to get a woman that can build with him. And then you're also telling, it's like you're kind of about to mess this brother up. He's going to have to learn like everybody else had to learn. Brother, put on a condom. If you choose to engage in sexual activity, I highly encourage you not to, piggybacking off of what they said, do not spread yourself thin. Do not sleep with a lot of women and people. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your mental health or your spiritual health. A lot of people don't talk to you about that part. They talk about STDs, but they don't talk about the spiritual transmitted diseases that come along with things as well. And that can happen. It could be a very dangerous thing to get involved with some soul ties and things like that. Those things are real. Definitely do not spread yourself thin. I think you guys have given him a little bit of some irresponsible advice. You're telling him to be honest, which is cool about being honest, but you're being honest about your morality. So that's not anything even better. Just how about not be immoral rather than having to be honest about not being immoral? Let's just not be immoral.
I think morals are subjective.
I don't think we said that, because we didn't disrespect this child in front, this young man in front of his father by giving that kind of advice.
Hey, hold on real quick. Oh, that was Didi. Your phone is probably on like a kitchen surface, and the damn speakers are coming back, feedback coming in. But go ahead, Ikene.
Yeah, so I don't think we disrespected or misled the young man. I don't think we disrespected his father by misleading this young man. We didn't say those things. What we said is that we kind of giving him the advice to abstain, but knowing what life is when it comes to men, we said, okay, stick to one woman. I think that's what, because Mr. Penn thought I wasn't giving that advice, but he found that, no, that's what I was actually saying, that stick to one person. And secondly, let me say this, Didi. We're not telling women not to have a man while she's young. We're not saying that. We're just saying that she shouldn't be a whore. I think that's what all of us have been saying throughout every channel. But
I
the thing is,
understand that, but Ikena, you're telling women to, as a young woman, you're telling her, oh, you need to be finding a husband early. You need to be looking for men early. But then the men that she's gonna look at is her age, is his son, and then you're gonna
no,
tell
no, no.
him, don't take her serious,
Uh, okay,
and then
let me
that's where
explain
you're
this to you.
Well,
sabotaging things.
Yeah,
let me
let me
say
say
this.
let me say
Go
this
ahead.
to you,
Go ahead.
Didi. Let me say this to you, Didi. In every culture, it's been always said that a woman should look for a husband earlier because of her time limitation. And in most cultures, except the West, most women have always been told to look for men older than them. It's only in the West that most women will marry their age, a 21-year going for a 21-year. In most places that most of us come, no, that I come from and trigger Mike, usually there is a 5 to 10 years gap between a husband and a wife. It's very common because we know that men will come with experience. Women come so that she can be groomed. That is
Okay, but
why in cultures,
16-year-olds don't need to be looking at him because that's the 5 to 10. You been talking about a 5-year gap,
exactly,
but the
they shouldn't,
16-year-old girls don't need to be. The 16-year-old girls don't need to be looking at him.
at all. They
Well,
shouldn't. A
wait,
16-year-old
wait,
girl
hold
Who is
on,
he
should
y'all.
going
come.
to be likely
Because
sleeping with? He's
Didi,
going to be
wait,
likely sleeping with
He's
women
No,
his
not
age.
talking
hold on,
about
hold on, hold on.
16-year-old
Because
girl.
according to what Ikene is saying, that means that the advice applies. If you focus on your craft and building yourself to make to get a good salary, to establish yourself in the world, by the time he becomes 25, 26, that 21-year-old, whatever that you say is supposed to be looking for a husband. But let me actually, because I think I agree with a little bit of what Didi's saying in the sense that, but no, in fact, both of you are correct. The part that he shouldn't be overly focused on women at that age. Women are actually a grave distraction to men. This is what your father will tell you. You will become consumed with women and start chasing them. You will never have an adequate amount of money. The reason I'm so rich now is because I don't want none of these hoes out here. You see what I'm saying? So that is what women being consumed with women does. It takes your ability to want to do anything else but chase. Now, the reason why both of y'all are kind of correct is that who said that a boy and a girl who are marriage focused have to be in a relationship to be that? Traditionally, that's what courtship was. You go in friendship, you go in familiarity to church groups. You basically learn your circle. And all of those girls in that circle and all of the boys in that circle know who's eligible and who's ready. You don't have to be smashing anybody to be getting ready for marriage. So all of it applies. Women are told to stay chaste because as we can see now, we have the most sexually experienced women on earth at one time who are the least married. So your value is staying chaste. If you can focus on getting to learn the character of a man, making sure that you are presenting yourself out there as somebody who wants to serve in a marriage, a man is building himself up into somebody who can protect and provide for a woman, y'all will meet right in the middle. And remember, if the average age of first marriage for a man is like what 30.4, 30.6, and the average age for marriage is a woman is 29.7, that means they met at 25, got engaged at 27, and 18 months later they got married. So it's still the same timeline that we're talking about. But y'all got it.
So Mike, let me just add this one. I think one of the fatal flaws of these conversations when women get involved, and sometimes men, is that they think that we see the world through the same prism. We don't. These things, we're not the same. The stimuli is not the same by design. I mean, I saw Ebony K. Williams on Earn Your Leisure, and she talked about the men's nature and female nature. That was she got right. She was talking about that, but then she said, "Well, therein lies the conflict." And I told her, I mean, my thing was, that's not a conflict. That's the nature of things. That's the way it's supposed to be. and she called it a conflict. And so when you call the things that are natural to men and women a conflict, that means you still don't get it.
Come on.
And I wouldn't prefer a young person, 21, 23, not to get married. But if they found somebody that they cleave with at that age, I'm not going to discourage them to tell them, hey, it's too early for you to get married. You need to fuck 5, 10, 15 more people. I'm not going to tell them that. If they're together, they're together. A lot of women don't want men their age because he doesn't have the bag yet. That's what they say here in the West. Well, a 21-year-old man, 25-year-old man is just getting on his grind. And when you got women saying you got to be making 6, 7 figures to just take me on a date, even though you should ignore those kind of women, so they really don't count. But that's what people are saying. So I mean, we're not the same. Men and women don't view sex the same. We don't get impacted by sex the same. Neither should be promiscuous. But men don't drive the sexual marketplace. Women do. And that's why women need to be chaste. Because when women are chaste, men behave a lot better because they have to do more to get the woman they want.
Facts.
And when they don't have to do anything, we have chaotic sexual marketplace. So I mean, it's always been that way. It's never going to change. When women used to close their legs and told a guy no, he had to come correct. He had to ring the doorbell to meet her father to take her out. Yep. He couldn't just come up in a car and beat the goddamn horn. He had to be respectful. And at some point, if they cleave together, some guys say, hey, you know what? I want to marry you. I want to marry you so you could be my woman. And that's the first time they ever have sex. That shit's gone. But it's not necessary. But the men used to behave, and there was always 304s, and there were always promiscuous men, but they were always select. Every man can't just get boxed. There's a select few men who could just get by. The rest of them have to cultivate relationships, and most men we know are invisible to the average woman out there. They just walk by him, don't see him if he doesn't have the aesthetics.
Yeah.
So let's stop trying to say that we have an equal kind of thing going on. We both need to do what's right, but we have to do it for the reasons that fit us. Men have to do what's right, and women have to do what's right, but they're not the same. That's all I have to say.
Well said. And I think Dee jumping in, even in from the well-meaning, good-hearted place that she might be expressing her position. I mean, like Mr. Payne said, it just literally magnifies how men and women are completely different, and we see the world from different spaces, and we're supposed to, because if we were completely the same, very little would get done in this world. If we thought like women, or if men or women thought like us, and that was naturally how it was supposed to be, we'd constantly be in opposition. We wouldn't want to be together. We would there would be very few people on the planet. We're supposed to be different, and the Most High, the grand designer, that was the plan. You know what I'm saying? Because we wouldn't be able to stand each other if we were exactly the same. So when women come up and say, "Oh, that we should be matching and how we're looking for mates," that just shows you that they think completely opposite of us, and that's fine. Let them think completely opposite of us. But men, we know what we got to do, and I'm gonna leave it right there for now.
No, there's a bigger problem. There's a bigger problem, and I'll tell you what it is. It's not just that we know what we got to do. I'll explain why. Because each one of you sat here and gave a 21-year-old the rundown about experience, how to move, proper good advice, right? Not only because we've all on this panel have been 21, but we've all learned valuable lessons about either old school, modern dating, education, trying to get your bag, trying to get trying not to get distracted, right? I think the key takeaway we can all walk away with is, hey, at 21, you're going to be distracted. Watch out for the distractions, because you need to be focusing on your goals, right? So if this is the advice that we're giving this young man, and this young man's receiving it well, when we have a woman in space that says, all y'all are hypocrites and all y'all don't know what you're talking about, because that one thing we're going to do this, things that we never said, things that we never implied. What I hear is an entitlement that says, I don't have to listen or respect anything you say. And the advice that you're giving this young man is I'm going to call it disingenuous and a lie, and I'm going to disregard your genuine lived experience because I can. Not because, here's this reason why. It's just a bunch of word salad. There's stuff that we didn't say or didn't imply. It's good advice for any 21-year-old to take in his position. And instead of trying to listen and say, you know what, I didn't understand or I didn't get it, maybe run it by me this way, that way. It's kind of just a log that's thrown in the proverbial fire and then used as gaslighting for all of us to have to kind of re-explain what we've just explained, which makes complete
EBD, you're a
sense to the
liar.
21-year-old.
EBD, you're a liar because I sat down and I listened and I
I
wrote
don't lie.
down points and I listened quietly. I listened quietly and I wrote down points. I wrote down points to refute. So because I wrote down points, I know I listened and I wrote down what I was going to refute that was said by the brother, his ghetto point of view. So I
None
did
of us are
absolutely
hypocrites up
listen.
here.
So you're lying. You absolutely lied.
And none of us are liars either.
You are a hypocrite because I'm also referencing a previous conversation that we had when you guys were fawning over that 21-year-old girl virgin. That video that I was on the panel about. You remember that one? You guys praised this girl that was a 21-year-old virgin. And you guys were saying, "Oh, I'd marry her immediately."
On the panel?
Yeah.
What about her?
No, it wasn't on the panel. I was on the panel when we
No,
brought up that clip.
It was a
It was a
video.
clip we brought up. So you can act like you don't remember, but you are being disingenuous and you are a liar because
I remember that. I remember that.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
we
on.
were disingenuous. No, EBD don't defend it. We are disingenuous. You know why?
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me clarify that one thing because she said we are hypocrites. I want to make one thing very clear. We are all hypocrites. Every single one of us, including Didi. All of us are fucking hypocrites. Was anybody a virgin here? How long did you stay a virgin? Were you a virgin before you got married? None of us. We are all fucking hypocrites. That's the point of these conversations. We are talking about our mistakes and do not want the young people to repeat them because of the way we have suffered.
You can't group me in your hypocritical nature for tonight because tonight I was not being hypocritical. Tonight it was
sure you were. You're up here calling people names.
I'm not talking about
you being hypocritical
tonight.
Disrespectful.
In general.
And very disrespectful.
So one of the things we got to stop doing with the shaming language is I'm going to cop to everything you're saying. But remember, there's something that we do now where it's like the people who've made mistakes no longer have the right to speak, then nobody would be fucking talking. Nobody would be talking. So now that
that's not the case. That is what I'm saying is you guys are hypocritical about how you guys are going about giving advice. In this instance, you guys are being hypocritical because you guys will encourage him to be with a virgin, but you will tell him it's okay for him to go and have fun. This is what you did. I did not lie on anybody. I did not misrepresent anybody's word.
What she's saying is
what the
true.
brother said was y'all said it was
No,
okay.
EBD, what she's saying is true.
Be with a virgin. Be with a virgin. Is that something we said?
Do you not?
Yeah. What she's saying is true.
I don't remember. You want to continue to cry about this equality you want of life, this equity and inclusion you want of life. We understand that you guys want to sleep with 1,000 guys and y'all still want to wear a white dress at your wedding, but that's just not how life is, Didi. And at some point, y'all got to just deal with that.
That's not the point I'm making. So you're arguing against a point that's not being made.
You want women to have the same level of sexual exploration that men have, and there should be nothing in society that banishes them or tells them they're wrong.
I said that you hold women to a high standard. Men should equally be held to a high standard. Men should be held to a high standard.
Hold on, Didi. Hold on. We got to get John the Baptist. Your icon is so small. I forgot your ass was here, man. I was like, wait, that's John? Let's let John the Baptist go. Go ahead, John the Baptist.
So Didi actually came up, actually speaking with some sense to me tonight because I'm just saying tonight. I don't know, I haven't really listened too much in the past, but she actually did came up holding up instead of a morality. Now, so that part I agree with her with. It should be expected on both sides, males and females. And then I'm gonna answer the question I'm answer the question that I saw on that made me come up. Are we feeling that adults? Yeah, we are feeling that adults, men and women. We're feeling big time. And I think we're feeling that raising adults. I think we're raising, I think our culture and society is raising kids to be kids, even at 21 to 28, 30 years old. The things that we say on these panels, things that we say in these YouTube spaces, do not create adults. They create children. And it's embarrassing to me to keep hearing these same conversations over and over again that's telling young men to go out there to knock down everything you can knock down and think that's going to help you be a man. It's not going to be a man at all. We can keep saying this to the cap. We can say this till the sun come up, and the same thing for the women. We have to tell the women too to stop having sex with. Stop telling.
Tell them what? Tell us what we're supposed to say. Let's get to the nitty gritty.
He was about to say, Mr. Penn. He was about to say. Yeah, he was about to say.
Well, maybe he was about to say.
Isn't the purpose to recreate, though?
Hold on, y'all.
Isn't that the whole purpose?
John the Baptist finished, bro.
You got the floor, bro.
So, like I said, yeah, we also got to stop telling young women too to stop sleeping with everything that crosses your face too as well. The message that we're putting out is we have to start changing the message and change the message to, as parents and as adults, we need to start training kids about the value of marriage, about the value of life before they turn 20, before they turn 21. They should have a path already set. But the thing that we're setting right now so when they turn 20, 21, they are ready to be married. They are on the path to be married. There is inheritance in line that's going to help them take care of their kids and their grandkids and their grandkids and their grandkids, because we've set the culture in place for it to thrive. What we're doing now, we're creating a culture of individuality. But if you set up a culture of individuality, you should have a culture that fails.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is, John the Baptist? You talking to absolutes, because I disagree. I tell anybody the bullshit you just said. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I didn't tell my daughters just go out there and fuck anybody. I told them as they were young all about the consequences, what to look for, and don't make the mistakes you can't come back from. So I can't stand when people come up here and use a blanket statement for everybody. That's just bullshit.
I mean,
hold on, bro. I don't think so. Arpain, I think you taking away everything I said out of context. But
you said these panels, we're on a panel. You can't say that. Just like Dee Dee said, all hypocrites. Like she missed the fact that I told her when I got married.
Arpain, if you're gonna disagree with me, Arpain.
Y'all go ahead and wrap this up so I can get this next video.
I'm gonna shut up, man. All I'm just trying to say is I don't like people come up and say to prove their point, they got to tell everybody else is all fucked up, and then I'll tell my point. Just say your point. I mean, everybody, I shouldn't take it personally. I'm not really taking it personally, but we can't say that because everybody on all panels don't give bad information. You might have to ferret through some shit, but I'm just saying, we got to stop these indictments before we try to make a point.
Arpain, okay, if you're gonna take what I said, take what I said in context, out of context. I didn't say everybody. I did not say everybody.
Okay, man.
So we're gonna table this one. We're gonna table this one and we're gonna get to the next. We're gonna come back to that. Here's the next video. We talked about failing the kids. We talked about the kids not having the adequate upbringing to be adults. Now let's talk about how some people are failing at being parents. This is a video I saved weeks ago. I didn't even want to show it because they're gonna be like, "You bashing women, you bashing women." I had to. But Jesus, this one was kind of terrible to me. Stay tuned, watch this shit right here.
You're not gonna get a ticket. He gonna put on his seatbelt.
Yeah, but he needs a car like a.
No, please. I do it all the time. I've been doing it for
I can't.
I will tip you.
I can't.
So you're gonna be late for school because you're not.
I can't get a ticket.
4 minutes away.
I can't get a ticket.
Because he don't have I can go get his car seat out my garage if you really need a car seat.
Yeah, I need a car seat. Hey, no. No, please.
Sorry, I will tip you.
No, it's cool. I don't want no complaints.
You don't have any problems. I just really need to get him to school. This is gonna be a Thursday being late, please.
No, I can't.
Yes.
I can't.
I'm telling you, he has a car seat.
All right.
Come on, like why does it gotta be so complicated?
Nah, cause I don't want no complaints.
Well, I'm about to complain a lip right
now.
now.
That's cool.
Okay,
Cool.
And then curse his ass out. Dog. First off, I didn't know
What?
I didn't know you could send your kid.
I don't think
So
you're
the way
allowed
she
to.
was talking, it was like, and this could be anybody, mom or dad. So please don't make this about women. Whoever got custody could do some stupid shit like that. But I didn't know people. The way she's talking is like she did that shit before, and
Trigger
somebody
Mike.
took the kid. So I need y'all thoughts. Like, is this what we doing as parents now? I would
Trigger
never
Mike.
send my kid with a stranger in a lift to school. And this is just one of the many ways that I think a lot of people in this generation are failing. One of the ways they are failing as adults is that they are failing as parents. So we got new people on the panel. G Love, you with us?
Oh man,
Yeah,
I gotta
right here.
So you want to go ahead and speak on the video we just talked about? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I say it's kind of foul that she's sending them on a lift, but at the same time, it's crazy we sending our people to our children to school. That's madness.
All right, what do you mean by that?
We like the topic say is, are we failing at being adults? The whole purpose of being an adult is to raise your child. How you gonna raise your child if you sending them to school?
I've heard that argument before. That's real.
Yeah. So how you gonna protect them if you sending them to school?
Are you an advocate for homeschooling?
Hell yeah, for sure.
And do you think that we can accomplish a successful homeschool environment without the nuclear family?
Without the nuclear family, man and woman, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, just meaning a community full of families. Yeah. Isn't that essential to being able to homeschool your children?
It is, but if we continue this systematic approach, we're gonna remain slaves. We're gonna be forever slaves. As long as somebody else is raising our child, we slaves. For real. As far as I see, as far as my experience shows me, if you sending your child to school, you're not being a parent.
Damn.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So Mike, you asked him a question, Mike. You asked him a question, right?
All right, go ahead.
So I'm gonna be real quick. So it's a trade-off, right? Even if you don't have the regular nuclear family, I think the brother's saying it's still better to raise your own kid and teach him at home. If you
how you gonna protect them? And you ain't there. How you gonna protect your child? And knowing how pedophiles is everywhere, how you protect there's no protection there. That's like we children raising children.
All right. So what do y'all think? So that's the question on the floor right now. Are we irresponsible for sending our kids to public school?
Not at all.
Hold on, we just changed the question up from the one that we saw in the video.
No, I'm just saying. I just want to take a quick poll.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, my thing is okay. I think I understand where the brother's coming from, but it's sounding more and more like that because we see in the news that there's less and less parental control, such as it is in all public schools. Hey, John, hey, JTB, man, I apologize, man. I didn't really want to. This is just on a side note. I don't want to come after you like that, but so I know where he's coming from. I just had to say what I had to say.
No doubt.
I know for me, one of the reasons why we moved into the neighborhood that we did is because we took a look at the school, what kind of school district, like, oh, this is going to be a good school. So that's one of the reasons we moved into our neighborhood.
But does that negate what the brother said, though? Even you can only be so. It's a risk mitigator, right? You can't really know all the factors, right? Once your kid's going out of your purview,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the West, we do not have the structure to facilitate that on a large scale. So
that's true.
That's the way we
in the
work.
West.
So basically, put it to you like this:
I'm in Arizona.
That means most men would have to marry women that are that invested in not working, meaning They have to give up. Remember, she got to give up her own dreams, her own education to focus solely on the children's education. Does that sound like the average American woman to you? No,
not at all.
So, I'm like partially in agreement with you for what's best in totality for the children. Like, if you want to keep your children out of a lot of bullshit, oh yeah, homeschool is the way, because they are being, yes, they can be indoctrinated in these schools. I honestly, I'm very I'm very skeptical of public. Like, both of my kids are going to a charter school that has better like principles, and they teach values and virtues and shit. Because I don't like the fact that most of the public school is run by women and gay men.
But the crazy thing is, our parents or our family is molesting our kids. How you gonna send them to somebody else if your family is even molesting the kids? Your friends even molesting the kids.
I don't think that's the majority of issues that we're.
I thought we talking about educating kids. What are we talking about molesting?
But homeschooling is going to look like.
One mic.
Hang on, but homeschooling is just going to look like what we're dealing with now, with just kids in front of screens. That's what your homeschooling is going to be. It's not going to be.
No, that's not true.
I don't think it's going to be.
You don't need the internet at all.
Hang on. It's not going to be no like library book that you have in your like room, and then and then they're writing on pieces of paper. Not in 2024, and not in the future either. It's just gonna be online courses.
But why? Because
you can get your degree that way. But that's how if you can get your degree that way, you can establish all of your education that way too.
Enter the Black Dragon. So are you saying that it's not possible to homeschool a child without the internet? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think so. If you're gonna buy, if you're gonna buy all the books that are required, right? If let's just say we're doing this in mass, I don't think that it's a mass solution, because if it were, you'd have to print out all of the books for everyone who wants to opt in the homeschool to have that as an option.
They don't use books.
They don't use books now.
Into the Black Dragon. Hold on.
We talking about adults, though. We talking about, are we adults? We talking
guys. Can I just finish this real quick point?
No, go ahead.
So are you saying that homeschool to you should be you just take them out to school, but you do the same exact curriculum and teach them the same exact propaganda that they would just learn in the school building? Because you keep talking about, oh, we need all these books and we need all of this material. So are you saying you would physically remove them from the school, but still teach them the same exact stuff they would learn in the school building?
Like what's required? What's required to graduate? Yeah. You still have to learn how to read, math, science, social studies, history.
Reading is not a lot of books. So when you say books, what are you talking about?
So when we're talking about English, we're talking about like expanded vocabulary. We're talking about different languages. We're talking about requirements in economics. We're talking about all these different courses that are required in order to graduate high school.
Right. And you're saying that you couldn't do that without an internet connection?
I'm just saying that all of that is streamed. All that's online now. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
It is all online. I think it's a little disingenuous when we say that we have to take our children out the school building and then just sit them in front of a computer screen. I think that's not true, and I think that then they're not being given anything better than they'd be getting in the school building.
Hijack. We talking about internet connections and shit.
I know y'all making it too complicated. That's why my kids going to private school, to public school.
That's children raising children.
John the Baptist, what did you think about the video? Is it smart to put your kid in a lift in order to get them to school? Because this is one of those things where I had trouble as a youth understanding that adage, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I didn't understand that shit when I was young. So I'm sure she was well-intentioned, right? I got to get my kid to school. Why are you tripping? So I'm sure she was well-intentioned. We're not going to tear her apart for trying to get her kid to school, but let's break down. Let's break down.
I will answer the question. So I will answer he said John the Baptist. He said John the Baptist. Well, come on, man. We can't do this. The man just God elite. What are we doing?
Go ahead, John.
So watching the video, I think the lady, she had good intentions, but even in a good
Hold on, I gotta mute somebody, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, in the video, I think she had good intentions, but like you say, the good intentions, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This is part of what I was saying earlier about parents making bad decisions and not being trained to be parents or not trained to be uh, intentional, thoughtful, intelligent adults. She has the mind. She has the mindset and the capability that of a of a preteen kid. She cannot foresee the dangers of putting her car in a car with a stranger who she does not know. And to think that because she's under pressure that this is a good idea. I'm not just saying just the video just had a woman. I'm not just saying just women in general. I'm saying whether if it was a male or a female who makes this kind of decision making has not been equipped to deal with a child, to be a parent. And so therefore it's like, yeah, although she wants the best for to get her kid to school, she is not equipped to make this decision. So we are failing as parents. This is a prime example what I mean by failing as parents.
Hey, I believe I've seen this video before. I believe she actually was going with him. Is what they were beefing about was the car seat. He needed a car. That child needed a car seat. I believe she was going to be in the car with her child to take him to school, but because of the car seat, that's the reason why they had the beef.
If that's the case, if that's the case, then I change my statement and I give her the credit for being in a car, but you still gotta have a car seat though. You still have to make. You still can't put that man in a situation where he's going to get a ticket for driving the child without a car seat in the car. You can't put his career in danger or his life in danger because you want to make a dumb decision. So she's still showing the intelligence and decision making of a preteen.
I gotta say this, right? As somebody that owned transportation company, there was a time that somebody requested a transportation from a hotel. So the hotel contacted my company for the transportation. One thing I don't do, I don't accept things in my car without parental supervision. It doesn't happen. We cannot pick up your child if no parental supervision or adult supervision. We cannot allow that. So there's got to be a guardian. Number two, I also had an incident 2 weeks ago from a hotel that called us for transportation, and the man had a 7-month-old child, no car seat. The reason why I allowed him was because they just went only 2-3 blocks. That's it. I got to tell you, there are some crazy ass parents out there that have zero guidance. In fact, I'm talking about men in their 40s and 50s. How can you bring your child, a 7-month-old child, into an SUV, a big SUV, and you don't even have a car seat? And you're telling me that, oh, your car seat was in your car. Go get your car seat, because just that 2 block, an accident can happen. And that child is gone. And guess who is going to be liable? Me, my company. And I'm going to lose the City of Dallas permit for that. That's operating authority for that. People, we cannot. It's a very, very bad thing. So what that guy did was the best thing he could have done.
I think with this video, she's already failed. The fact that she's willing to think of herself only and send that child out in an Uber, and we all know what the law is. A child under a certain age has to have a car seat, a booster seat. That's the law. So you're willing to break the law for your own selfish needs. If you had a car seat in the garage or wherever it was, you should have had it out available. And the fact that you would send your child, and we don't know if he was sending them by himself or she was going with him. But that's the trick bag that welfare puts our women in. When they have these children, school is from 9 to 3, and you're a single parent, how in the hell are you going to work a full-time job? You can't go to work. In Chicago is one of the biggest perpetuators of this, because now school starts at 9, they get out at 3. How are you going to get 8 hours a day? You got to go catch the bus or ride halfway across town, because Chicago's a big ass city and you're in traffic. So you got to drive to work, and then you got to get home before your child gets out of school. Sometime during the school year, they have a program that let at 6 o'clock. And this is where the trick bag is. And this is why I say as how it can flip to the man side. These dynamics that are your children are faced with, this is a great opportunity if you want to be an involved parent, if you want to be a dad that is active, to use this to your advantage. There are times where you would also be able to say, hey, mama or my child, let me take my son tonight. I'm not doing nothing tomorrow. I can take him to school myself. I might be able to walk him to school with him to school and talk about different things, or you might be able to drive him to school if you have a car. Now, homeschooling is an issue with a lot of women because that's the time, if a lot of them are single and they're not really working for it, that's a time when they can get a lot of stuff in that they normally wouldn't get in with the child there. That's why you get all these OnlyFans videos. You cut into a mother's OnlyFans time, it's going to be a problem. So this is the dynamic for men right now to look at the laws, and we cry about these child support laws to change them. And a lot of us are afraid to just go afraid of going in front of the judge and say, hey, I want my son. I live 3 blocks away from my son. Give him to me. And if you won't give them to me half the time. I can take them on Monday through Wednesday. She can take them on her time, but it's the greatest time to take advantage of that.
Yeah, let me respond to the Trigger Mike Show's greatest troll, Lady D. Black men, if you don't want your kid in a cab, then you pick him up or shut your mouth. Oftentimes, y'all have heard me say, this is why a family was never meant to be disjointed. This is why the only version of family that works is intact family. No other version fucking works. When the family splits, this is the shit you got to deal with. All right? This is the shit you have to deal with. I am in charge. My children go to separate schools until next year. I have to be out of this house by 6:25 a.m. to make it cross town to take both of their ass to school, and I don't miss. Okay? Because my family is intact for this very fucking reason. If my wife divorces me tomorrow, we cannot be as efficient with this shit. This is the importance of it. So stop trying to create situations where because you made a bad decision and you decided to break your family up so you can get some side dick and show off your body, and now you're trying to have control over a man to do shit over here and you need to be here for your child. How about y'all focus on keeping your fucking family together first? That's all I ever want to hear out of anybody's mouth. I do not want to hear about co-parenting or none of that. You got to fix your situation the way you got it. But this is numero uno, primary directive. Keep the family together or you got to deal with fuck shit.
I'm not trying to hear none of that. This is what I want. Daddy and my daughter with him right now. Yeah. Because he's a daddy. He's a real daddy. Ain't no excuse for that. We ain't together. He still got my daughter right now because I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Your daughter.
Let me respond to one thing. There's a line that she just said. She said, "Oh, shut your mouth." When a person like that addresses black men, and then say, "Oh, shut your mouth," that tells you a whole lot about the kind of human being she is. Meaning that she has no respect for men. Don't see men as a utility or something that she can use and drop.
I'm pretty sure she don't have a man, if you want to be honest.
Because if she has a man, she won't be saying shut up or shut your mouth. She won't be saying that because she's going to have respect for men because she has a man. But when she doesn't have any man in her life, or maybe never been raised by men, or maybe never had men around her, she's never going to respect men because she has never seen the usefulness of men. She has never seen that. So to her, men is sexual object. That's it. Shut your mouth.
It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's not that she doesn't see the utility of men because she lives in a world that exists that's built by men, including the socks and shoes that she wears. So let's not get things twisted there. The problem is not that she has no respect for men. The problem is that these women have no respect, period. When you have respect, you walk down the street and you recognize someone recognizes you. You don't let anything fly out of your mouth, and you don't get to act any kind of way, and you don't get to have your 2 cents and cut people off and roll your neck, snap your fingers, and clap your hands. You don't get to act like a child and throw tantrums at somebody because you think that your opinion and your feelings matter more than the other person, and you can exist in your own universe and people just exist in it, and you wake up and go to bed with that delusional thing like I'm a 10 and no man matters. Your opinions that you give to your younger brethren are wrong by default. I don't need to understand them. The only thing I understand is that you're wrong. I don't agree with you, and I don't respect you, and I don't have to listen to you. That's the only thing that's been beaten into their heads for over 50, 60 freaking years. That's the only thing that comes out of their mouth. There's no such thing as I apologize. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I made a mistake. I can do better. None of it comes out of their mouth. None of it. It's trash. That's all you hearing. And nobody wants to be around trash because it stinks. We want to get away from it. We ain't trying to marry it.
I completely forgot to read the damn super chat. My bad, Chris. My man Christopher J with the $5 says, if you're too young to date, then you're too young to smash. Identify your core principles and never stray away from them. They will guide you. Hey, that's a word, my man. Good job, Christopher J. All right.
Hey,
So
I'd like to talk on
Mike.
that. I'd like to just talk on that thing real quick.
John, then go ahead, RP.
Well, listen, here's what I would say. Let's say the woman was going to get in the car, but she routinely has that kid in the cars without a car seat. You think that was her first time? She routinely has that kid in cars.
If you're trying to talk the Uber, the Lyft driver into taking him without the car seat, she
routinely has that kid in different cars.
We do that in New York all the time. It's a lot of women that put their kids in Uber drivers.
She's irresponsible for that because she's taking chances with the kid. Now, whether she was getting in the car, because I thought she was trying to get in the car too, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, because the whole point is she said, well, I have a car seat. I have my car in the car seat. Well, how come you ain't driving the goddamn kid to school? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so the story didn't jive well. She was just trying to get this dude to do something against his policy, and she didn't care about his policy. That's another problem.
Against the law.
Whatever it's the law and his own personal policy, whatever. Just the law, the policy. She didn't care. Now, whether it's men would do something that stupid, yeah, maybe you'll be a few, but she just happened to be a woman. Now, here's the thing that I'm gonna say. I'm gonna shut up. When we have a plethora of single parent households, most of them are women, and the men might be going for whatever reason, the kids are still being raised mostly by a single parent. We don't need any more receipts. We know that the community is destroyed because of it. The kids are roaming band of killers. A lot of them are killers now. So, I mean, we're listen, in the 100 years, this subculture as African Americans as we know it won't exist. I'm just letting you know. It won't exist.
Yeah, I've said that too, unfortunately. That is the byproduct. That's the consequence of individualism. If there are no black families, there's no continuation of blacks.
And that's by design, by the way.
Every dark-skinned person in America that identifies black, a majority of them are going to be Africans. That shit is mind-blowing to me. That's why I do not understand why people cannot get behind the topic of the nuclear family. That is the only way to make sure that your bloodline survives. I don't
Y'all not taking over in America.
No, I'm dead ass. They've already done. Like, think about it. The birth rate is going down so low. So now they're on birth control, not having kids. 50% of all women gonna be single. Yeah, it's about to be bad out here. But hopefully everybody got their fill of that. So this is the last topic of the night. This one is gonna be very interesting. This is
Can I just say one thing, Trigger Mike, before you jump into that?
Yeah,
my fault, bro.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
His good point of view. Just real fast. I can't let you get away with that, Trigger Mike. You can't sit here and act like a bunch of men would throw their kids into cars with strangers, like Uber that's called on Uber and Lyft. I don't know too many brothers that would ever do that. So come on, Trigger Mike. We know this is something that the sisters do. And we not about to say it. Carry on.
I had to pick up my son. when whatever the fuck. Oh yeah, they didn't have my car back to me in time when I went to go get it fixed a few months ago. And I was out there with the car seat. Dude looked at me like, "Oh, we're gonna go pick up your kid. Thank you for bringing the car." We damn sure don't do that. I'm not violating the rules, especially when I solicited somebody else's service. I'm not gonna have
Trigger
you
Mike.
violate the rules. Yeah, go ahead.
Trigger Mike, and let me see his name. His ghetto point of view. His point of ghetto view, and what you just build, Trigger Mike, you just build him out because you said when you answer this question, you answered in reference to you, Trigger Mike, what you wouldn't do. And the thing I'm speaking of is this: is that you wouldn't do it because you're a man of certain standards. But we gotta think about there are certain men who would make that same dumb decision, and to say that men who have no standards, like I just said.
Stop it. Where are these men at, John the Baptist, that have a bunch of kids that's just dropping them off in cars?
You've never seen a man without no standards. You never seen a man who don't live by principles.
I've seen men who don't live by quote unquote codes. I've seen men who just got out of jail doing 20 years and they love on their children crazy and they would never put their children in the car with strangers. What are we saying here, John the Baptist? And I'm sure you know men like that too, because you're a man of the community. So why are you going to sit here and act like just because men may not have quote unquote the best morals, that they don't have by nature a particular protective heart toward their children, and they do not let their children go in cars with strangers?
Ikene did just say it happens, so we can't say it doesn't happen. He
No,
drove.
No, that's not what he said. That the dude didn't have a car seat, and the dude got in the car without a car seat with his baby. He never said that the dude left the 7-month-old in the car by itself.
Okay. We're talking about.
No, he got it. No, he got it with the car. But the thing that I got to say, most men will not do that because men. Oh, my bad. Trigger Mike.
No, go. Yeah, I'm like, God damn.
Okay.
Let me get to the last topic of the night. I'm tired. All right. So this is Mia Khalifa. Does everybody know who Mia Khalifa is?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you gonna deny it now? Nobody knows who she is. Okay, great.
I know who she used to be.
All right, bet. Let me play the video. Something she said. This was crazy to me, but this is another illustration of how we are failing as adults. Look at the connection she tries to make between these two things.
The army is worse than being on OnlyFans. Wow. You're selling your body to the government.
All right.
The government showed up.
Is being in the military the same or worse? Like, do you see how somebody how bad do we have to be as how detached does she have to be from reality to have made that connection or that distinction, whatever? Like, anybody can go.
Yeah, as a former Navy, that was pretty stupid. You cannot compare being in the military to OnlyFans. Being in the military, joining the military is something honorable. Being on OnlyFans, I won't even look your way if I found out a woman was on OnlyFans. I don't care how you look.
Damn. Well, somebody said, are we trying to act like Mia Khalifa has a brain? Listen, this is what I think this is that this is one of the byproducts. This is the culture of delusion at work. When people are trying to avoid shame, they try to make connections that aren't really there. She's trying to avoid shame for being a corn star. This is the number one reason why we need to talk our daughters, these young girls, out of this type of life. Because what they always try to do is come back and reclaim their virtue later. She's trying to reclaim everything she's lost. And this is like one of the stages of grief. This is denial. So now that she knows that everybody knows who she is, from what I hear, she can't go back to her country. They basically said you're getting stoned on sight. Her parents can't go back to their home country, right? So she's basically disgraced her entire family. The dudes she was married to, she's not married no more. Her money from that industry for some reason is not popping like it used to. So now she's trying to create an atmosphere where what I did wasn't really that bad. I mean, damn, I was only a corn star. I've only done OnlyFans, and that is the same as being in the military. These are the delusional distinctions people try to make when they've had a life like that. So Who else thinks that was complete
Yo,
hogwash?
sorry, yeah. Let me go real quick. I'll be real quick to it. Listen, she's delusion. I mean, she's proof and parcel, a receipt saying that once you blow certain receptors as a woman, there's no coming back. She can't cleave to a man. She can't be seen with anybody who's serious because most men who are on their grind, one of the things that we want to do is have respect for the men who are our peers and for the men we admire. And we can't have a woman like that on our arm to make that happen. And she knows that she's dedicated, she's blown it. And she's still relatively young. And she's blown it. And so she comes out. This is not the only stupid take she's had. I mean, she comes out, all that energy that she absorbed in her youth. That shit has to manifest itself one way or the other, and we're seeing it manifest itself in stupidity and delusion. So, I don't wish her ill will, but if we're waiting for her to get a good take on something, forget it. It ain't happen. That's it. I'll end it there.
Yeah, let me say something real quick because I was just looking at a comment that said, why is it that we only talk about mostly women and we don't talk about men? But let me say it this way. Any woman that is destroyed in life, we all know that there is a bad guy that got there. We all know that. I'm just responding to that testament, to that message, that chat, or whatever it is online. We all know that there are men that talk all this trash into women's heads that make them say this trash that they say. A man told her that, we know that, but that's why we always say, stay away from those men. We say it all the time. The reason why we go after women is because we're telling them all the time, guess what? Your virtue is your currency. Yep. Stay away from bad men. We know that there are bad men, but the good ones are talking to you because if we go and talk to that bad man, we have to fight him, right? But we don't need to fight him because that will cause chaos. We rather talk to you to stay away from him. And he doesn't want us to talk to you. He doesn't want us to talk to you because if we talk about him, he doesn't give a damn. Bad men don't give a damn. But the only way we can sanitize our culture, our relationship, and have better children is to go after the women. That's why we do this. Because
her name. So her name. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this. So her name, Mia Khalifa. Like it's not only been tainted. It's now in the lexicon of the language of where she's from. So now women, instead of being called like a whore, people call them Khalifa. Like they shame their daughters, like who dress promiscuous or acts any kind of way outside of the cultural norms. They're now called Khalifa and accused of being, they point at them and say Khalifa, Khalifa.
Oh shit. So Wiz Khalifa got to change his name?
So I don't know about all that, but yeah, it's that serious. It's serious enough to where now the name of the family has now been associated with the behaviors of one woman.
Wow, California.
You know what though? This is one of the parts that we don't really explore too often. For the ladies who want to see us shame men, the men that frequent these panels that come up here, we aren't shameful. We have the life we tell other men to have. The part that nobody's really dealing with here is that for the first time in history, we have an abundance of shameful, willfully shameful behavior from the educated, well put together, good looking women. I swear to God, if there was more shit to talk about, if you want me to talk about Pookie all day, guess what? The same shit that Pookie do, he went to jail for that same night. But the shit that a lot of these women do, they still on the street doing the shit the very next fucking day. I wish more women could talk to women so we wouldn't have to. This shit has a very, very weird stench around it to the point where the women will talk about the men all day. What the fuck else am I supposed to say? Those stories already been told. But you want us to talk to men that we have tried our entire lives not to be like. We want the sisters, the well put together, educated sisters, the beautiful, the ones that get their hair done. We want y'all to disassociate yourselves from these hoes out here. And we're telling you because y'all say shame doesn't work. It does.
To add to what Mike just said though, because I've actually, as a young man coming up, and even as an older man, I've actually seen men who would judge a man on sight based on how he carries himself. And if he doesn't carry himself according to their standards, they won't deal with him. He won't make their club. He won't make their pack. Any assistance they may offer, he will never get it until he does one or two things. Either he changes and becomes that man. Actually, that's the only thing he really can do is become that man that they are, or get on that path.
I mean, I think it's just a traditional thing among men. It's like the "you can't sit with us" type thing.
Yeah, you can't even excel. You can't even excel. Like in the military, like in the, there was a guy in uniform. You can't excel until you adapt to them, until you adapt to their way of thinking, the way of operating and moving. You have to meet their proof and their standards to even get the rank that you want to get to. I mean, so even then, and I say this and I'll back down, but then, like when you look at how I think so, I guess I'm assuming that she's from a Muslim country. Sounds like anyway. I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that one.
Mia Khalifa, yes.
It's India or Pakistan or something like that.
So let's just say it. Let's say Sharia law is involved. Sharia law is not just practiced against women; it's practiced against men too.
Yep.
They beat and kill men too for the same things. So it's not like it's just one side. It goes both ways. If you go to those countries, you're gonna see men getting their hands cut off. You're gonna see men getting stoned to death. You're gonna see men losing their lives, and you're gonna see women doing it too. The only problem that you see in today's time is that we have no problem seeing a man suffer the standards or the consequence of a decision that he makes. But whenever it happens to a woman, this is where the argument takes place because women feel like it shouldn't happen to women.
Right.
But it happens across the board. If you're stupid, whether you male or female, if you're stupid and you break the Sharia law, you're gonna suffer.
Absolutely. That's the part that I don't get, that people don't understand. In this culture that we have, men, the consequences of men are baked into the system. Every law that has ever been written, every jail cell that's ever been opened, primarily was made to punish a man. They're all made to punish men primarily. Men already know what's happening to other men when they trespass or break the laws of society. We also know that men lose their social status far easier than women do. We are now in a society we know is being morally corrupted and bankrupt, but not only by the behaviors of men, which has always happened, but now by the behaviors of women who asked for this type of equality. You asked for equality. Guess what? When you put yourself out here to show your success, to show your ass, you also got to show your failure, and you got to get punished for it. The best societies on earth, the ones that function and people know right from wrong, punish the women the same as the men. Openly, they do that shit. For the shit that women do in America today, they used to cut women's freaking heads off. You understand? So y'all getting off easy. Really freaking easy.
So that's the reason why I had a little disagreement with Ekene, right? Because I'm tired of men taking the blame for the shit that women do. We should stop that. You know, I mean, women have their own agency. Every time a man says women are this way because of us, we take away their agency. We take away their responsibility or their accountability in life. For example, when men are born, right? Even if we don't have good fathers, at some point we kind of realize that we don't have a safety net. Our window to succeed in any way of life is kind of known to us, right? Because most men, when they say another man who's 30, 35 years old and he still doesn't know what to do, we have a thought about that guy, you know? But when women, right, they're born with an inherent value and everybody knows it, okay? And their value is strengthened by how much virtue they carry with them. And now the puppet masters and feminism and all this shit told them that empowerment has nothing to do with virtue. It has to do with counting dicks. Okay. And every time I hear a woman talk about trauma and you get to the root of it, it's always a man behind it. Always. And men who have a lot of women, they don't get on these panels and say, listen, I've been traumatized by all the pussy I had. They don't talk like that. So all I'm just trying to say is, when you tell a woman that she should protect her virtue, we're not saying you need to be a virgin, right? Because most men of the West, we almost none of us had a wife that was a virgin. This shit, it wasn't the end of the world to us. We know she might have got down once or twice. I mean, nobody's going crazy over that. But if I tell you, I don't want you to have had sex with 150 guys, not for my benefit, because you won't be able to be a good wife to me, because you won't be able to cleave to me in any kind of real way with all those dicks and all that energy left in you. So if you couldn't compare, so you have all this trauma and I got to be the one to fix it. So we got to tell women, listen, your box is your body, your choice. Not only because I'm saying it, the law says that, right? So if you let a man in, you got to be accountable for letting him in. If he gets pregnant, you're both responsible for that, but you're accountable for every man who sticks to just the tip in. You're accountable.
Yep.
So stop it. Stop taking women's agency away from them. They're responsible for their own actions.
Hey man,
anyway,
we all gotta be adults.
There.
That's really we can't ask to be adults, and we can't ask to have the responsibility of adults, but then the accountability of children. So all of us, men and women alike. So I want everybody to go around 30 seconds or less. Just make a statement about adulthood, what you need to see in order for us to bring a more prosperous future to this world. All right. With your 30 seconds of advice, anything you want to say, we'll start with Ethan.
Hey, come young guy. Okay. So this is what I'm going to say, right?
30 seconds, Ethan. Goddamn.
Yeah, 30 seconds starts right now. So what I'm going to say,
that's American. That's American seconds.
You see, it's cutting into my 30 seconds. It's cutting into. I got to start 30 seconds now. Okay. So this is what I'm trying to, and what I'm going to say. As men, yes, we also have to hold men accountable. Talk to men, just like we've talked to this young man today. Because I know some of the people that came on this planet, on this panel today, didn't see a lot of things. Didn't see the early version of this podcast. We were actually talking to a young man how to abstain, but we know that as a young man he can't fully abstain. But we told him that even if you don't abstain, try to keep only one woman. Stay away from the rest of them. Focus on your education. Focus on trying to be somebody. Focus on getting your life straight. That's what we told our young man. And I think that's what we should keep telling other men out there. If a woman is going to listen to us, listen. If you don't want to listen to us, I can't tell you nothing.
45. That's good.
Yeah, that was a cool minute and 15. But all right. Trey, 30 seconds. What is your advice? To be a better adult for these young people.
Okay, so it's just going to be a piece of advice, and I've been saying this for a while, and I've been saying it to my sons. He's at the best age in life to really start understanding the world outside of home, outside of his comfort space. As men, we've been made to explore, we're made to seek new lands, new ventures in life, new ways to live and grow ourselves up. And I'm telling him to just take advantage of it now. He has YouTube, he has me, he has other family members. Get as much information and knowledge, get his skill set up so when he get old, get his skill set up.
What?
Mute up.
Oh, I get 5 seconds, 10 seconds back. Just take a chance really to just start understanding who he is. So if he does find a woman that is eligible to be his wife, he's prepared to build a home for her, both mentally, physically, financially, and he's able to sustain. But listen, it's hard because it's hard to say, just do what you got to do, fellas. Stop worrying about other people. Move around in the world. Have a great life.
Boy, black people sure don't know what 30 seconds means, boy. I tell you.
He can age Mike Stone too.
Let me get this super chat real quick. My man Big Ant with the $10 says, why do some of us have a problem with just letting some people go? You have to know the difference of who to spend time saving and who to ignore to save the community. You can't save everybody. I've been saying it. Everybody can't go. Payne, you're up. Please.
All right, listen. It's funny. My daughter, right? She's like 30 years old, and she went out with some of my female cousins, right? They're a little older than her, and she told me she went out with them because she's on their like list. And as soon as she got back, I said, "You listen, call me right away because I want to dispel everything they fucking told you." All right, so tell me what y'all talked about so I could put you back on track because don't listen to any of them because I know that they didn't. Whatever, she said, "Well, Dad, we didn't talk about any advice or anything like that. We just hung out." But my goal is to make sure that even with my own family, I try to govern what she puts in. I had a couple of female cousins tell her not to get married. Right? They both have husbands and children. I said, "Why are you telling my daughter that shit? You guys are married, so y'all got somebody in your corner. What's she supposed to do when she's your age?" And they both kind of just shut up, and didn't even say they were sorry. But anyway, let me just land it there. So we got to watch and be wary what people tell your kids, and sometimes you got to ask them the tough questions.
Oh, that's evil. That is evil for real.
Maybe their marriages weren't that good.
That says something about their goddamn husbands. And their husbands are nice dudes, and I know them. So that's what you know. What, Didi? That's what I told them. I said,
let me actually say this because this is important. I just said this on another podcast. Have we heard any good stories of marriage from Black women recently? Can anybody name any? No. And all of their marriages weren't shit. That's because we have created a culture of complaint. The only thing worth talking about is the shit you want to complain about. So no, that shit paints a negative picture for the women coming up behind you. All of these marriages ain't shit. And if you want to be real, some of the women's are the one that fucked it up. So we never hear positive shit because they just want to. This is why I don't like what's happening. This is why we need to change it, and this is why we need to talk to the women because y'all communicate through complaint. My wife tells me all this shit. That's all they do in the moms groups. Whoever gets the biggest complaint gets the most attention from the group. So somebody tells a story about something that happened, another woman got to top her with another story. Like, God damn, don't y'all get exhausted from that shit?
Hey, Trigger Mike, let me just say one thing to Didi real quick, and this is where I come from with my daughters. Because women have some insight and men have foresight. And when I talked to him, I said, listen, forget about what you're thinking about how your life is now as single. Well, how is it going to be at 45, 50 if you don't have a man covering you? This whole notion that you're going to be some happy as a lark kind of thing under the Christmas tree during Thanksgiving and all the holidays, but nobody's checking for you, that it's going to be a life of bliss because you got a little bit of money. That's just not true. When your biological door closes, you got to be ready for that shit. There's a change in life. And if you're alone, it's different than if you already have a child. And even if your man ain't around, you at least fulfilled your biological imperative. So I'm just saying, you got to project yourself on where you're going to be in the future sometimes. And you got to be prepared for that if you make a decision like that when you're in your 20s. You got to know what it looks like when you're 45 and 50 by looking at some 45 and 50-year-old spinsters. They might look happy on the outside, but they live in lives of quiet desperation.
Man,
I'll land it there.
I'll add to that, man, because
and Payne, you took about 3 minutes, bro.
Yeah, you talked about
you know how he does.
You talked about foresight.
Pain's gonna be pain.
Yeah, this is why I do this show, man. I've been gifted with magical foresight. Can I tell y'all why I'm really worried about our women and we got to get them in line? Are our women, do they suffer from weight issues? Yes or no? Yeah.
Most
Right.
of you on this panel are
Okay,
suffering
God
from weight
damn it, Didi,
issues.
you
Let's
gotta
not
let
do
me
this.
finish. You gotta let me finish. You gotta let me finish. So our families are broken up, which means we're gonna have the highest incidence of type 2 diabetes, which is also a precursor for heart attacks, stroke, things of this nature. These women are going to be alone when they have these serious medical complications and things that happen to them. These women are not meant to be alone when those things happen to them, right? That's going to be an epidemic to which the world has never seen. A bunch of sick people with no family to care for them. That is how bad this shit can get. People are going to naysay and down talk what I'm saying. I guarantee you I'm correct. Okay?
We are not the ones who are dying in nursing homes alone. It's you
Listen,
all.
let me tell you, Didi,
Nevertheless, can I have my little 30 seconds
okay, I'm
of
gonna get
life
to you.
advice?
But let me actually men dying in any form has never been a problem in the world. Men dying in any form has never been a problem. Nobody cares if a man didn't do what was necessary to have people look after him and care for him after. The men dying in war, nobody cares. It's literally just a part of the game. Nobody has ever seen this though in the opposite, where it's women dying in the same fashion. And the world will have a problem with that. I guarantee. But yeah, you can go ahead, Didi. You can get your 30 seconds.
All right. 30 seconds of life advice. If you fail to plan, then that means that you plan to fail. In regards to your plans, write it down, pray about it, and take action. Trouble is easy to get in and hard to get out of it. So watch the company that you keep. Take care of your body, work out, eat right, develop healthy habits, and try to work on your lifestyle and try to be a good, righteous person. That's my life advice.
And I just want to say, Didi, the answer to women are fat is not men are fat too. Like, what? Why do y'all always do that? We be like, women suffer from weight issues. Y'all niggas suffer from weight issues too. That don't take away the weight issues of black people. Black people are obese. Like, what are we talking about here? The shit is unhealthy. Can we at least agree on that? And we're gonna suffer health complications because of it if we
All
don't
of
change
our
it.
backs are big.
Oh, goddamn, boy.
Come on now.
Goddamn. Oh man.
But Didi, you just answer. But Didi, I mean, be truthfully though. Just answer the question he's asking you though.
Like, is it like? Does it hurt? Does it hurt your stomach to say?
Nah, it feels good in my stomach. I ate.
So you guys
But
trying to
Didi,
tell
but you're deflecting
Didi
though. But
to
Didi,
break womanhood?
you're deflecting. You're deflecting, Didi. Just answer the
You
question.
guys
Be
trying to
genuine to the
get
conversation.
Didi to break the code. You
Why the
guys trying to
U.S.
get Didi
doesn't
to break the
negotiate with
code.
terrorists? Oh man, this is why the U.S. has a zero tolerance for terrorism. All right.
All right. Hey, Trigger Mike, you can't remember me?
From when?
Fight Club.
I remember you. Yeah.
Okay, because when you saw the 804, you was like, oh, 804.
No,
Yeah.
I had to see your face when you popped up. I was like, oh, I know.
Okay. Yeah. The reason why I jumped on is because when his ghetto point of view was giving advice to the young man, I think me and John the Baptist had the same, like, okay, we need to jump on this panel right now. That was terrible advice. Let's just point just to go straight to the point. All right. If you have a young man
to tell somebody, wait till
all right, hold on for a
30
second. Let me
before
speak.
you
Hold on,
get
you got it
Let me
next.
hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. All right. Okay. When you have a young man, if he's 21 years old, if he find a good woman and he's able to like see her family, she got a 2-parent household, she look like she's gonna be doing things in her life. Don't tell that man to this, I'm gonna have sex with her, then okay, I gotta get my numbers up and go bounce her to another one.
Nobody
right?
ever said that. Don't even
hold on for a
accuse
second.
me
Let
of
me
saying
speak,
stuff
please.
like
Let
that
me
on this
speak.
panel.
Let me
Why are
speak.
you even
All
putting
right.
those words into my mouth? I never even said that.
You got
what
it next.
Didi and what John the Baptist said, they are 100% correct. Didi was correct. You are the type of man that confuse good women.
What
all right.
the fuck are you talking about, sir?
Yo,
I never even said the stupid shit you're talking about. Rewind
and
the
one
tape.
thing you have to learn
And
also
point out what I
is when
said, the
somebody's
stupid shit
speaking
you're
to you,
talking about.
you don't have to always curse all the time. All right.
No,
It's
I
time
don't
for- it's
curse.
time for you
I
to grow
curse at
up.
lying fake men. That's
All
who I
right?
curse at.
It is
Because
time for you
when
to
you
grow
have
up.
to
When you were
lie
speaking to
on
the young
another
man,
man to try to make your point,
and
you sound
first of all,
stupid and you sound unintelligent. So, sir,
if you were
this is the
speaking to
level
my
of
son,
articulation you
you
get
wouldn't
because it's the
have
level of
been doing all that
articulation you
cursing you was
deserve.
doing. All right. So it's time for you to do some growing up. Okay.
Time for me to do some growth.
You had that. You was talking to that young man. You couldn't stop cursing. What kind of man are you?
When did I curse when I was talking to him? What are you talking about?
Yes, you were. Yes, you
I
were.
said the word pussy. I'm sorry that messes with your sensibilities.
Okay, so it's time for you to grow up,
sorry
man.
that messes with your sensibilities,
all right?
sir.
So
sir,
my advice to you,
I'm sorry that grown men talking like grown men messes with your sensibilities.
Because your ghetto point of view is very ghetto. All right, it is time for you, Mister, to grow up.
Somebody,
and like I said, I would tell a young man.
Get this man a tampon.
I would tell a young man, if you find a good woman, right? If she's a good woman, rock with that good woman. You don't have to get married to her right now. He could get married somewhere. For example, let's say he planned on going to medical school, right? If he said, okay, yeah, 8 years down the road, I'm going to marry her, right? The only thing I would say is, for example, could you please shut up, please? Let me talk.
Because you
probably have no good advice in your life. You never give any good advice. So let's wait for a second.
I guarantee you, if you let your children hang around me, they'll be far better off than they'd ever be hanging around you.
All right. Are you married, sir?
Yes, I am.
I am sorry for your wife. I am sorry for your wife.
Sorry for my wife, but I bet you.
Anyway, let me go back. Let me go back.
No, guys.
Let me
This is
go
what we're
back.
trying to avoid. This is what we're trying to avoid. No personal attack.
The only time I would tell her, could you hold on for a second, sir?
With us with love.
Could you hold for a second, sir? All right. You can't control yourself.
Good time. I'll show her how it feels to be treated special.
Exactly. That's why you're a fool. That's why you're a fool. And I don't deal with fools like you. Okay. Anyway, let me go back to talking to the young man.
To address me. You know what they say about fools arguing with fools, right? Then you can't tell who is who. But
that's the reason why I want to talk to you right now. I want to talk.
So then you can't tell who's the fool because he decided to address a fool. So all right. Anyway, we know who
Mr. Trey Ferg, like I was saying.
Yo, my man, you sound like one of those Barbadians that think you from Africa.
Yo, let him finish his ghetto point of view.
Please. Okay. Yes.
Let him finish.
You can respond after I'm finished. Okay, Mr. Trey Ferg. Like I said before. Oh, one of the things I'll also tell you, young man, is if for some reason he has to go away, then that's another story. If his career needs him to go to like Chicago or somewhere else, and he has to leave that woman, then okay. I would not say okay, yeah.
Oh, so the rules got caveats. We don't got
could you please
rules.
Be quiet, please?
We got rules that have different scenarios.
Let me talk. Yes. Once you take notes, you might learn something today.
That you need to really avoid.
Once you go get a pencil. You probably use crayon. Go get a crayon. You might learn something today. All right, because grown men are speaking right now.
Sir, relax.
Okay.
Grown men are speaking.
Anyway.
When you
that's the only time I would tell the man. That's the only time I would tell the guy till he could venture out to another place.
You got to tell people you're a king. You're not a king.
All right.
When this man had to identify himself as that, right. We already know.
That's the only time. That's the only time I'll say you could venture out. But
come on,
like I said before, I'm Mr. Trey Ferg. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? For example, I would tell my daughters what to look for in a man. Right? You look like you are a man of principle. Right? So when a young woman see your son, he looks like a young man's principle. He see you look like you're an older man with principle, right? She's most likely gonna have sex with this boy, right? And then after Mr. Ghetto Point here is giving advice like, oh, don't stay with her. She'll bounce because you got some more box to hit up.
Why you keep
right?
That is Nigerian 30-second clock going on. What we got going on right now?
Okay, so that's the advice I'll give to the man. Yo, as we could see, we always go on these panels, right? The pickings are slim for a good man. The pickings are slim for good women. So if you find somebody, stick with them. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
The way I live in your heads for free, man.
Let me get this super chat. My man Big Ant $10 says you can meet the best person in the world, but if you are not built with a solid life foundation, if you are the weak link in that relationship.
Thank you, Big Ant.
All right. Here's a ghetto point of view. 30 seconds. Goddamn, Ronald.
30 seconds after they attack me.
5.5 minutes. First off,
30 seconds after they attack me. That's all I get to rebuttal.
I hardly was talking anyway.
Hold on. My man, y'all were going back and forth, respectfully. My man Ronald said, "Remember me from Fight Club, then turn this shit into Fight Club." That shit was the first time I ever seen that shit in my life. Remember me from Fight Club? I'm about to turn this on.
He's the type of man that he needs somebody to validate him. Trigger Mike, this dude need therapy. He don't need his family. He need therapy.
Get your
he needs to be validated by other grown men.
Y'all about to make me late to take my kids to school in the morning. I gotta call the fucking lift. All right.
But anyway, minus the dudes that need validation from other grown men. Young man, I hope you understood what I was saying. I don't know how these other grown men didn't understand what I was articulating, but I get jealousy from these dudes all the time because they wives look at me like they with lust in their eyes. So I get it. But anyway,
Stevie J.
You right. I'm all of those things, girl. And I bet listen, if you respectfully, if you wasn't married, you'd be on that type of time. So stop it. Anyway. Anyway, like the last thing I would say is this: we need families restored. Families restored would give men the leverage. And like we've been preaching all night, this man needs leverage, which is why he should wait till he's 30, which is why he should wait till he has skills and he has trades and he can take care of a family. To tell these dudes, which this is so hilarious. You got dudes on this panel telling dudes and women co-signing. The women who say, don't waste my time are co-signing men saying, be with a woman for 8, 9, 10 years before you can even take her down the aisle. Sleep with this woman for 8, 9, 10, 11 years before you could take her down the aisle. And you got grown men up here co-signing that because, that's better than having the man just focus on himself, building his craft up, and then going to be serious about a woman when he can now take care of her. I, as a man with daughters, want a man who's ready to take care of my daughter. Not just, we gonna go 21 years old and we just got out of school and I'm gonna go work at McDonald's while I'm still finishing my master's. And, I'll take care of you when I can with this studio work I'm doing in my security job on the weekends. And no. Brother, you go have all those experiences of life. And when you are ready as a man, now come talk to me about taking my daughter and leading her somewhere. Not y'all about to struggle love together. My daughter don't need no struggle love. And the fact that y'all dudes sit here and say, somebody's daughter should sleep with your son for 10 years before she even figures out whether y'all gonna be serious with her or not is disgusting. And I land my plane there, man. This is why we need more education. We need families restored so we can have education, leverage that will bring discipline and more character in our families, and we'll have more communities through all of that character building that first comes from families restored and then men being able to get the leverage with that restored family. And I'll leave it at that, man. Y'all dudes is sad, man. Y'all dudes is trash. This is disgusting.
Can I get a quick rebuttal real quick?
You don't need to rebut nothing, man.
I never spoke about struggle love, right? What I said was they don't have to get married at 21. If she's a good woman, do not pass up a good woman.
Thrash her out for 10 years. She a good woman. Sleep with her for 10 years.
Listen, one thing you need to learn is, do you notice that when you were speaking, I was quiet?
Probably put some babies in her.
Do you notice when you were speaking, I was quiet? Did you notice that?
Be like, we want men to take us serious. Well, then, mama, you want to wait until those men are a little older. And
want to notice this when somebody else is speaking,
a 21-year-old man is not going to take a 21-year-old girl.
When somebody else is speaking, you have to be quiet. Learn to
take her seriously. He doesn't know what taking a woman seriously means.
You still haven't learned that yet. I was speaking.
Get my 30 seconds in.
Okay.
All right, y'all. 30 seconds, Ronald. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much.
God dang,
like I said,
you had 5 minutes.
I never told the guy what I said. I give an example. I said they don't have to get married when they're 21 years old.
Don't say what I ride with. Don't do that.
I said if you find a good woman.
Oh God, boy.
I said if he find a good woman and he doesn't want to get married now, if he wants to wait till
he should thrash her out for 10 years.
And I give an example.
He should stretch her box all out and put kids in her. We heard you. We heard
Sir,
you. We heard the
please shut your mouth so I can speak. Okay? I give you respect. Give me back the respect, please.
You ain't give me no respect.
Give y'all my synopsis. Hold on, y'all.
Okay?
You gave me no respect.
Yes, I did. I was quiet when you were speaking.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I gotta mute people now. The host is talking. Let me give y'all my synopsis on struggle love, okay? The Asians get married early when they have nothing. They are the #1 economic superpower in the United States of America. The Indians get married early and build together. They are right behind them. The Africans get married early. They are right behind them. The Mexicans get married early and they're about to pass black people. And black people will be collectively the poorest people in the United States of America. And by 2050, our net worth will be 0. Stop talking about struggle love. We're all fucking struggling.
That's bullshit, Trigger Mike. Because
that's good advice.
Sir,
if your son, struggle love. We're all
Trigger Mike. If your son, respectfully, sir, if your son or daughter gets married
even if they quote unquote don't have finances themselves, they come from a family which can provide them support,
I'm not
guidance,
going to disagree with
direction.
that. Yes.
So then how can we say that families who have single parents and no finances, we talking about the black community has
we're
no
not
money,
saying
right?
that.
No.
We're not
Let me
saying
finish, brother.
Go ahead.
We telling people with none of these support systems to now come together with no support system. Don't take that time to build yourself up first. No, come together with no support system. You came from a single family house. I come from a single family. We have trauma. Our parents don't have nothing, but we should come together. They can't provide us nothing. They have not given us no blueprint, and we should just come together and figure it out.
So
and
I do have a rebuttal for you, a very intelligent rebuttal. They are each other's support system, because the one thing you notice, you just outlined the losing strategy of most black men and black women in America. By the time you've built something, you don't know how to cooperate with anybody anymore. Somebody in every culture got to be the sacrificial lamb. Somebody, it's up to each individual people to say, I'm not going to do what my parents did. They didn't make it work. I'm going to seek the guidance of people who know how. I'm going to surround myself with successfully married people, which you don't need your parents to do. You don't need your parents.
People learn at 21, Trigger Mike? Or is that something that takes time for people to humble themselves and seek the guidance and wisdom of elders?
Hold on. You don't need your parents' permission to surround yourself with successfully married people.
That's not true. You got to be older to do that. You can't do that in your parents' house at 13 and 12 years old. So you telling me, Trigger Mike, at 13 and 12 years old, little girls could just leave their parents' house and say, hey, I'm going to hang out with auntie so-and-so because she's married.
We're talking about 21-year-olds, not 13-year-olds.
Right. So if that journey has to start once you're 21, then that means you weren't prepared to get married at 21. That means now at 21, 22, I now have to go on the journey of learning life. I am already behind the 8 ball. I have to now learn these things and acquire these skills. I do not have them because I came from an environment that did not teach them. So now to tell me with no skills and no resources no support to now just go jump off the deep end, you're setting me up for failure, and you're setting up all the children that come out of that for failure.
Remember, your strategy is the losing strategy. This is the losing strategy. Build yourself up. Go
How is that a
into your 30s.
strategy?
Hold on.
Jump from box to box.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that doesn't even have to be.
What are you talking about?
Hold on, that doesn't even have to be the advice, Ronald. That's just what's going to happen. The older you get, the longer you put off marriage and learning how to cooperate with one person, learning how to be in a functional relationship, the more if the average age of marriage is 30, that means most marriage eligible people are gone by that age.
If you see something, you throw it away. Come on.
God damn, he being all African on the stream. Goddamn. You see he's pissed. You see that pissed look on his face? It look like my daddy. All right. But what I'm saying is, by the time people get to that age, marriage is hard to attain. You cannot start at that age doing what needs to be done. I agree with what you're saying about people needing the guidance and the education because they didn't come from it. So that is what they need to seek primarily in their youth. There are a bunch of successfully married people. You can do all of this in college. You can surround yourself with these type of people to show you the way. Somebody has to say, I'm going to do something
marriage
different.
groups that people join when they're in college. Trigger, name some of them.
Like literally, there's every kind of group you can join in college, bro.
No. Name the popular ones, because we know about the popular groups in college, right? Name the popular marriage groups.
Let me actually outline you. Hold on. I went to an HBCU. Let me actually tell you the number one way that men and women solve this problem for themselves. They join a fraternity. I have had numerous fraternity brothers.
There is no marriage club.
Hold on. I've had numerous fraternity brothers come to me and say, well, this is why I joined. I never had a brotherhood growing up. I just needed people to show me. I knew that you dudes,
they didn't get it when they were young.
Hold on,
right?
Hold on. I knew that you dudes had y'all shit together. And what? Most of us are married. They're looking at the future. They're looking at those 50-year-olds that have the outcomes. And the first thing they could do was just join a group of men who were like-minded and where they wanted to be.
And that
that
journey
shit is a
started
cult.
after they already became an adult, correct? That wasn't a journey they were able to go on for whatever reason in their home environment, correct? So we're telling people who don't get to go on this journey in their home environment, who don't have any of these resources, who don't have any of this experience, who don't have anybody to lean on, no big mama, no none of that. I know this man, he just want to go to Juve so bad. I got it, man. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. So I'm gonna be here soon. Soon come. Anyway, so we telling people with none of these resources to go jump off the deep end. Trigger Mike, what would the success rate of that be? What would you say?
So that's not what we're saying. So I can't even answer that.
But how is that not what you're saying?
Hold on. What? So this is actually the interesting part about what you're saying. Not only
don't forget my
here's why
time.
I believe I'm right. This is why I believe I'm right. We better concern ourselves with telling them to
Just don't forget my time, please.
I got you, Rick. We better concern ourselves because regardless of if they seek this education or not, they're gonna get the consequences of being involved with women anyway. So if you don't concern yourself with how to be a husband, you're gonna end up a baby daddy any fucking way.
Right.
So what are we
how many dudes that learn backwards and become a baby daddy before they start learning the man and fatherhood education?
So why would you be against what I'm saying? If they were learning,
what do you mean? That's exactly why I would be against what you're saying, because they don't have the experience and they jumped into the deep end doing stuff and putting children out here
now,
with no experience,
seeking,
and now those children have to suffer.
Instead of seeking the people that are married out to learn how to be in a functional, productive relationship, they are now a baby daddy fighting with their baby mama over custody of their child, and now he's worrying about the kid being bastardized for the entirety of its life. So either way, all roads lead to you got to come see me, dog. They got to come learn from me, dog.
I mean, I respect your perspective, Trigger.
That's why you hold on to a good woman.
For failure. All of our projects across the country show us that what he's saying is a recipe for failure, because all these kids is having kids young and none of them are staying together. None of them are building anything. All of them are coming from damage, trauma, third, fourth, fifth generation of single parents, and none of them are building outside of that. None of them are getting and escaping that paradigm. They're only perpetuating it further, but we're sitting here saying all of a sudden it's magically going to work with nothing changing. The definition of insanity is to repeat the same action and expect different results. But we're telling these children to bump their heads into the wall and go insane. No problem.
I don't know about you. I come from a great foundation, so I don't know about you, buddy.
Right. You great foundation. You jumped way over the point I made. That's your anecdotal experience.
So what I'm trying to say is if I'm giving advice, maybe you should shut up and listen to it also. I know what I'm talking about.
Now I see that we're hold on, y'all.
Do you understand what a community is?
I think we having two different conversations now. But we're gonna let my man John the Baptist close it out.
Man.
John the Baptist, you will be uninterrupted. Go ahead and close out the show. What is your advice for people to be better adults?
So I'm gonna take 15 seconds before I take my 30 seconds and say this and correct something that was said earlier.
Gotcha.
Ronald never spoke for me, period. Ronald said, included me in his conversation, but he never spoke anything that I ever said. So therefore, anything Ronald said does not represent anything I said in this conversation, point blank, period, at all. Nothing.
You know, you like weirdos. Stop it.
The thing is this. Let me say this thing real quick to you guys.
Was John done?
Guys, I gotta say this. Trigger Mike, I gotta say this. What makes me uncomfortable? That's why I don't go to Fight Club. Some of us here cannot be on a television where men insult each other, because there are people that will see us tomorrow at something. They will be like, "Are you in this show? I saw you on this YouTube channel." That is why I don't go to some channels, man. I can't do it. So please, guys, when we're not insulting each other, somebody shouldn't come and start throwing insults at one of us. If you have me, Ronald, don't do it, bro.
I wasn't
That's
insulted.
why we don't go to fight.
I didn't come up here and insult. I just disagreed with him that he started up.
Yeah, but
if you would allow me to speak, I would have insulted him. He's the one who tried to start insulting somebody. I don't play that stuff.
He's such a grown man. He can't even take critique
I understand, but the thing is this, right? No matter how you guys say something to each other, just don't call names, especially when we're there. That's why I stopped coming to Fight Club, because those things that's not the kind of show that I want to be at. And then I'm going to have people asking me tomorrow that, "Hey, I saw you on a channel like this. People were talking nonsense. Well, why were you there?" I don't. Please, guys, come on now. Let's not do this.
Ekene, we've been on panels together.
I know.
I'm usually one of the best. Hold on for a second. I'm usually one of the best behaved people on the panels, right?
Yes, but I'm surprised.
Thank you very much.
I'm surprised.
When I'm
just
speaking,
keep
and this guy
it
doesn't
like
validate,
this.
that's the reason why it happened.
Yeah, I got you, but keep it like this. You see, Mr. Wayne, stop going there. My trigger mic doesn't go there anymore because we got tired of it.
Hey, listen. Do you know why what you're saying is true, Ikene? Because even the host of Fight Club said, "Fuck this shit." I'm done. You said that's why you don't go no more. There ain't no Fight Club to go to no more. Because even the host is like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I can't do this.
Hey,
but,
get a John John Baptist time to speak. Come on, John John Baptist.
That's why I'm like, was he done?
No, I was not done.
He wanted 15 seconds, then he wanted his other 30 seconds.
Close out this show. You shall not be interrupted. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. Everybody, get the fuck out of here. John, you got it. You got the comment.
This is crazy. Yeah. My thing is my final thought is this. Men, don't make decisions just to live and exist. That puts you in a position of weakness. If you're dealing with a problem, you have to learn how to make decisions that destroys anything that hinders the outcome that you want to get. If you don't fight to destroy, then it will eventually take over and kill you. So don't just live to exist, because existing puts you in bondage. But you have to go out and try to destroy the thing and kill the thing. Either you kill it or it kills you, but never live with it.
All right. Hey, man. Another dope conversation. Thank y'all for coming through, man. Trigger Mike Show was a dope one. I did not. This shit was supposed to be 2 hours. But I thank all the fellas for coming up. Y'all always got dope conversation. Y'all are welcome anytime. All right. We're going to do this again probably during the week, but we definitely going to do it on Sundays. I'm going to have a show called Messy Questions coming up. And yeah, y'all come through. It's going to be dope. It's going to be a Cash App show. Your Cash App name going to be your name. So people like what you're saying. They can send you tips and whatnot. But even the chat, I thank all of the intelligent people in the chat. I love for people to dialogue. Remember, that is my theory, that the dialogue is the solution. We are all looking for some magical solution in the ether, but us sharing, okay? Remember, senates across the world used to debate with their fists, okay? This shit is actually natural. I don't know if y'all think we're all supposed to come to some magical agreement. No, we are supposed to debate our points for life, take these debates and what we learn from them into our own individual lives and families. That is the solution. So I thank everybody for coming up and chopping it up with me. I'm definitely going to be late taking my kids to school tomorrow. I'm not supposed to be up this late on a Sunday. I rock with y'all. I'm out. Have a good night, everybody. Till next time.